Well, hey, how's it going? Welcome to Tuesday Night Festivities. In fact, actually, now we're just going to call it Festivities. I'm Karyn Bryant. You can call me KB. With you, it is episode 54 tonight. You know what? I have to give myself a round. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Ideally, one day, this will actually be a live TV show like I want it to be. And we will actually have a studio audience like I want. Until then, just going to use this. But at any rate, welcome to Festivities with KB and Renato Laranja. Renato will be along in Renato time. For those of you, if you've never seen the show before, he is Brazilian. And no offense to all of my dear Brazilian friends, but you guys know firsthand about Brazilian time. Renato is almost never on time. I might start telling him the show begins at 6:50. But until then, anyway, we've been doing this show now for over a year. Like I said, this is episode 54. So this is season 2 that we are in now. So hopefully you guys can check us out. You can see us on festivities.com, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And you can download audio versions of our show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. So I just want to get some of that business out of the way. Hi, Jody. Yay is right. That's right. Let's see. Let's get this. What? Okay. Well, maybe Roman or Roman, carry on. We can talk about this. He said, let's get this 10th Planet San Antonio seminar lined up for Uncle Hanach. I won't read the rest of that, whatever. Anyway, we tonight have Chito Vera. Are you kidding me? Chito Vera is on the show tonight. Chito currently ranked number 5, I believe, in the UFC Bantamweight division. Chito and I work together over on the broadcast. He does the Deportes, en Espanol, and he is great at that. But I see Chito at work all the time, which I just love. And we were trying to get him around the time that he was fighting Dominic. It didn't work out because Chito is, not unlike Renato, I think, when it comes to the phone and maybe getting back to people. Anyway, we got him today. So we have got him in for the show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Aloha, Joe, saying you love the show, great chemistry, awesome guest interaction, and a new flavor to the old MMA media. Thanks. Well, thank you, Joe D, for understanding the show. And, in fact, yes, Daedalus, thank you. Good evening to you. Chito is the man. So here's the thing. It's funny because to your point about us being different, last week's guest was Ilir Latifi. And you guys should definitely go and check that episode out with Ilir. We had a really good time with him. And I remember after I sent him a message, hey, thanks so much for being on. Hope you had fun. And he said, yeah, just a little different from every other interview, and, laughing face. And I said something like, well, if that's, if it was different from the other interviews, then that means we did it right. And that is definitely the intention here, is to be a little bit different, definitely a lot more lighthearted, and to have some fun. Now, speaking of our dear friend Ilir, a little update. I was talking with him today. He is still in the hospital. Unfortunately, those of you guys should know that he ended up having a staph infection. And so he fought with a staph infection, which really sucks. Woke up that morning and had a swollen leg. And, this fight had been rescheduled a few times with Alexei Oleinik, and he didn't want to not fight. And it was the last fight on his contract. He's 40 years old and really was thinking this is probably going to be the last fight. And so he went through with it, and he won the fight, but was feeling really not great and went to the hospital after. We were hoping he was maybe going to get out, but no, they're keeping him there. So he was showing me some footage of what it looked like today. It's not great. So I've seen worse, but it's not great. So he said he still will probably be in the hospital for a couple more days. But I'm sure you join me in wishing Ilir the best, and hopefully he will get well soon. And we are planning to talk so we can get an update and kind of get a take on everything, since he sort of retired in the octagon and then he kind of did it. So if you look at the things on his social media, he talks about moving on to other things. But at any rate, last week, we had a really good time with him on the show, and he talks all about the kind of things he wants to do after fighting. So he was kind of tipping the hat to some of the things he wants to get into. And we had just a really good time with him. Talked a lot about Sweden, talked a lot about Khamzat, training alongside Khamzat. And I know Khamzat's in the news now too, whether or not his passport has been what's the word, seized or whatever, withheld by the Russian government. I don't know if that's true. The last thing that I read was his manager denying that that is true. So I don't know if that is the case. But at any rate, Ilir had a lot to say about training with him and what he believes the future does hold for Hamzat, all kinds of stuff. So really worthwhile episode. I think all of our episodes are worthwhile. That's just me. I don't think we've had a weak one in the bunch. Saludos, Jesus. How are you? So here's what I was going to tell you guys. A couple things for those who just need a little primer on Chito. So, currently his record is 27-1. So 20 wins, 7 losses, and 1 no contest. He is on a 4-win streak. So he beat Dominic Cruz. He beat Rob Font. He beat Frankie Edgar. And then before that, he beat David Grant. So he's been on quite a tear. And of course, before that hot streak, he had that elbow KO win over Sugar Sean. That was a big deal. So, a lot is really going well for Chito. Now, speaking of Rob Font, one of the guys that he beat, Rob Font, was on our show as well, episode 32. And we had a really good time with Rob as well. So you could go back and look at that. That's what I'm saying. This is an A+ guest list that we have on our show. So you can go back and listen to the one that we had with Rob Font. But anyway, so Chito will be on and we will talk all about the win over Dominic and just kind of what's going on with him in terms of who's next and all of that. And actually, it's funny, when I was going through my things, I remembered and I had some footage from when I was at that show because I worked that fight and had the footage from in the arena after Chito won and everybody was going crazy. So that was pretty cool. Actually, maybe I could show that to you guys now. But anyway, looking forward to catching up with Chito and, Renato should be here at some point. Fernanda, hello, Fernando. Welcome. Hello, friends. Yes, the Hob Fonch, Tim Cleigville. That's exactly Rob Font or Hob Fonch. And yes, we had a good time with him. I was looking through and I'm going to make some promos. I really need to do that. And that's just that I've been pretty busy, but I'm home for a couple weeks. We don't have fights this weekend and I'm not on the next couple. So the next one I'm working though, it's almost as if I had scripted this, but it plays right into the next one that I'm working is at the end of the month when Calvin Kattar is fighting Arnold Allen. Calvin Kattar is also a former guest of ours, and I will tell you right now, so you guys, I'll even do the work for you. Calvin Kattar was episode number 19. 19 for Calvin Kattar, episode 32 for Rob Font. The Kattar episode is wicked good. We talk all kinds of Boston stuff in there. And in fact, I think it was kind of like January or something when we talked to him. So we were talking about just some funny stuff, springtime, girls in sundresses, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Calvin, really good guy. And so obviously, or maybe people don't know, I'm from outside of Boston. So we had a lot to talk about from the Boston things. But Calvin is just a good dude. And might have to circle back around and have him on again because he's just too fun. And I'm just too big a fan. There's a lot of people we've had on that I'm a fan of, but okay. So Nintendo Melon Juice saying beating Dominic Cruz is not cool, man, in all caps on those last 4 words. That one was tough, to be honest. I work with both guys, so when that happens at work, it's a little tough when any of our analysts are working in general, or when they're fighting, rather, because it's a happy day for me when my guys retire. And I know Anthony is all excited to keep fighting for however long, and Chiesa is going to keep fighting. And while we were working the past weekend, Chiesa was talking about, when he's going to be fighting again. And that just stresses me out. So I'm always excited when the guys retire. And so anyway, having Dominic and Chito fight each other was pretty rough, not going to lie. But what you going to do? It ended up being a great fight. And Chito won in a very, very exciting way. And, what you going to do? What you going to do? Let me read some more of these comments and questions here before we, hello, Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Mixed Martial Anarchist, saying hello, KB, one of my favorite pods of the week. I'm glad to hear that. You know, there are a lot of okay. So Tim, you know, the super chat thing, I think you know, I'm not sure how that works or when that returns. So some stuff had gone on with my channel that I actually still need to look into. But the monetization thing, so it's monetized again. And so I guess maybe I thought I had monetized this one. So maybe I just did something where I did it. I don't know. That's a good question. So I got to figure that out. I'm not sure how those things work. And I really don't know. So I got to look into it. I'm not sure. I don't know. Something changed on my stuff, and I know some things. Yeah, yeah, Joe D. We need to get me an assistant or at least a fund to pay the kid. Yeah, no kidding. All of this is done by me. For anybody who doesn't know this, I am the producer who books the guests. I am the graphic person who makes all the ads. I am also the social media person who tweets and puts it out on social media. Renato puts them out on social media as well. I edit the videos. I do all the prep work of the videos and the B-roll and stuff that you see. I set up the stream. I post produce. I then put them up in the audio. So yeah, I do it all. Your girl KB hustles, and you know, I was just talking to somebody today about trying to take this to a bigger platform and everything. So we shall see. But what you guys could do on our behalf, anyway, is tell your friends about us, because I see a lot of comments where people are like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite show, and this is the best kept secret on the internet." We don't want it to be a secret. We do want everybody to know about it. One thing that is perhaps better kept a secret, I don't know. He's a secret lover sometimes, I'm sure, to many women all at once. 27-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion. Let's welcome him to the show, Mr. Renato Laranja.
Hi. Oh, here I am. On the flash. Once again.
Love. Why do I feel like you have a lot of those?
What was that?
Secret lovers? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you probably have a few.
I'm very good
ladies.
at keeping a secret, Karyn.
Do you? Are you?
Oh yeah, I can be very discreet. And let me tell you something. You may provide you produce, but I may provide the produce, the cucumber, Karyn. I may provide the zucchini, and I keep you motivated. Okay, you know, like a donkey, how you have to put a carrot in front of that one, and when you go like that, and he keeps seeing that carrot and he keep going. I may hang my cucumber or zucchini, however you say.
You're putting the donkey before the.
I mean, put the carrot before my zucchini. I'm putting my zucchini before the donkey. And in this situation, you're the fucking donkey. Here's what you don't understand. And then what happened is because you see the zucchini is hanging there, you want to work more harder. And you want to create more graphics and stuff, and you want to create more opportunity for the show and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know what I mean. There's a method to this one, Karyn. You're going to thank me later.
Okay. I do thank you for the clips that you put out on your social media. You have some choice clips. You do. It's a good advertisement for the show with the clips that you put out on your Instagram-y.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
If I do.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even do this before. I totally forgot to do this while I was, looking good. While I was filling time, I forgot to tell everybody what's on the show today, but now you're here. So Chito Vera interview. We're going to talk to Chito. I'm very much looking forward to that. We're going to talk about.
Now, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because whenever we have a certain ethnic guest or whatever, you like to put a little extra spice on there, like if it's a guy from Israel or whatever, you're like, but then
am I supposed to say Chito Vera?
You're supposed to go Chito Vera, you know,
Marlon Chito Vera, and it is Hispanic Heritage Month, so right on time, folks.
I'm so happy for this one. I'm excited from this one.
I know, me too. He's
I'll
from
tell you
Ecuador.
What, the fan is excited to this one too.
Yeah, I think so. This is going to be fun. So talk to Chito, then we'll recap what happened at UFC Vegas 61 with Mackenzie Dern and her fight with Yan Xiaonan. Talk about that and go over the fights on the main card if we want. I know that's a tough one for the community. The Brazilian community is really feeling that one. So I'm sorry. We'll talk about maybe Renato, how old is too old to fight? There were 3 40-plus-year-old fighters on that UFC Vegas 61 card.
Well,
we will get into.
Ask me. I don't know. I'm nowhere near Flash.
Listen,
I'm a generation X or whatever.
Generation
Y, Z.
Yeah, you're a baby. Speaking of babies,
I'm a baby. You know what? I'm a sugar baby. I don't know nothing.
Speaking of babies,
yeah, I like little Xanax. I like or Kodiak Blackie. I like all that stuff and to hip hop and stuff like that. I don't know anything about 40 years old. God,
right, right, yeah. So speaking of babies, we're gonna talk about. So we don't really get into politics on the show, but Herschel Walker is an athlete who is running for Senate, and he sent. We're going to get into what he did after he allegedly, but it seems like he really did, paid for an abortion. So etiquette. We're going to get into relationship etiquette there, and of course, other MMA.
I would never pay for an abortion.
Okay.
But that don't mean you can't get that one. Just I don't want to pitch in.
You're not going to pay. Hey, but that's coming up later, Renato. Our guest is here.
What?
Our guest is here.
Oh.
So should we welcome him in? Ladies and gentlemen, this one is a big deal. You know you are wanting to see this guy for a long time. When we mentioned him coming on the show, everybody's like, oh my God, about time. He is coming off a killer knockout win over former champion, Mr. Dominick Cruz. His name is Marlon, but we call him Chito. He is the #5 UFC Bantamweight. Please welcome Chito Vera.
Oh, caralho. There he is.
What's up?
Renato.
Yeah. It's not too shabby.
Muito bom.
Yeah, because I love that. I seen you with some nice shirts and some nice style and stuff like that. In fact, a lot of people don't realize this guy is even more fashionable than like the NBA players. Whenever you see this guy, he's have a different fucking look, but he's always curate. He's always curate very tastefully. One time he looked like a Rastafarian with the beard, and then sometime he looked like he came from East LA, and sometime he looked like he came from the forest of Ecuador. You never know what he's gonna do.
You never know. From homeless to CEO, but I'm back and forth.
Caralho. Yeah, but that's how you keep them on their toes, porra.
100%. 100%.
You know what, Karyn Bryant? I feel like his fighting style is like his fashion style. Am I breaking up here?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Because you don't know what's coming here. You think you got him all figured out. He got like that. And then out of nowhere, he kick you in the fucking face with some new stuffs. You know what I mean?
Facts.
He lull you into a false sense of security for him.
It's true. It's true. Well, a lot of times you're wearing the Ruka stuff, but then you'll totally like be all tricked out in a nice suit and stuff. We took a picture at work one time when we were both in like the black and white. You were wearing like a linen suit or something, but you do keep it fresh.
Yeah, I try. I feel I'm creative, and that's what really helped me with looks. I'm always just keeping a little bit of a spice, not too much, not forcing it. Just just a proper seasoning makes the steak perfect.
That's very true.
Fuck. Am I freezing or is he freezing?
No, you're good.
Everybody's good.
Everybody's good.
Are you in Brazil? Beautiful. That's why.
That's right. I'm in the Cricket Wireless, porra. The UFC gave me that piece of shit Cricket Wireless. Oh wow.
Hey, so listen, Chito, there's a lot to get into with you. Wait, Renato, did you want to say something?
I got the cockroach wireless.
Cockroach wireless, he does. Hey, but first and foremost, we should probably, since everybody really wants to just know, and I know it was a little while ago, but I was working that night. I don't know. Is that the most significant knockout of your career, the one over Dominick Cruz, because of who he was and the way that you did it?
Yeah, so of course that's my last performance, and it's gonna be the best one just because it was honestly it was a win. But I
Mhm.
really feel in my career, the Frankie fight was kind of like the one that I break through the dark side. Like I was kind of like
Mhm.
I fell short with Aldo. I went back in the ladder, fought a contender, came back, have another chance in Frankie, and now I told myself, this is it. There's no fuck around. There's no small mistakes. I didn't lose the Aldo fight on hard work or not being disciplined.
Mhm.
I just I get a little unfocused, and I kind of like wiped my ass before it took a shit in that third round. I was like, he's done. I'm gonna fuck him up, and I lose the sight, I lose the focus, and I
Yeah.
end being trapped in a position I couldn't escape. And you know, good for him. Good for him to trap in that position because
Yeah.
I had the energy just to break his face, but good for him.
Yeah.
And I went back in the ladder, get another fight, and then the Frankie fight I think is when my career just flipped,
Mhm.
and I you know I am where I am because of all the hard work. But that fight was the one that I think put me in this position.
Mhm. Nice.
Now you
Nice.
said you wiped your ass before you took a shit.
Yeah,
Now is that a typical Ecuadorian saying, or you just made that one up?
I think it's Ecuadorian. I'm pretty sure I hear that a lot because that's almost like you can assume you get things. You have to go and get it. And that night,
Yeah.
I lose focus. I was like, you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
I saw him tired. He was, his face, his energy. He was kind of like, fuck,
Mhm.
I want to be here. And I was like, I'm gonna send you home. And then
yeah,
I rushed it a little bit, and I pay for my mistakes. And I'm grateful because that experience I got there,
Mhm.
I wouldn't probably got it ever.
yeah.
So I'm glad that happened because that's probably one of the reasons I'm gonna become a world champion because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I hate losing more than anything, and I I'm so consistent that I just the more I'm in the gym, the more I'm gonna just keep the wrinkles added on top of, and that's why every fight I show up a little better, a little sharper, a little crisper, better defense, better attacks, but
Mhm.
I don't get that just by thinking about it or wishing it. I'm every day in the gym.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that
do the
Frankie
same.
fight.
I do the same stuff, but without the hinkles. Oh God,
Yeah,
no hinkles on that one. Um,
yeah.
but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say the Frankie fight. Yeah. After that, then you're on a 4-win streak. So, yeah, something clicked. And in fact, we had your coach, Jason Perillo, on the show a couple weeks ago. And so folks should definitely go back. We had a really good talk with Jason. He obviously, as you know, he's such a great guy, but he
Yeah.
was such a great guest. But do you think, too, that, yeah, with that Frankie one, with fixing things, did something else switch in you too? Like, did you get more self belief? Did something really start to,
Um,
yeah, make you believe like now I really am gonna run for the title?
I always had kind of like the mentality and the hard work, but I gotta give credit to Jason Perillo. Without him, I wouldn't reach my potential.
Yeah.
There's levels to this, and I have the work ethic, I have the grit, the mentality, the
Mhm.
will, but you just need somebody that guide you through. You need somebody that tell you go left here, go right here, go straight, take a step back. That's okay. Do more. That's too much.
Oh
And
yeah.
in MMA, I've been around, and there's so much bullshit in MMA. Like coaches can get away with a really really low level, and they can make a name, they can win couple fights, but that's more a small tiny circle that you gotta break to get to the title. You can
Mhm.
only get it with somebody like Jason Perillo. And I said this
Yeah.
before, and I will say one more time. I give credit to him of me being in the position I am today because, again, I had the tools. I just didn't
Yeah.
have the guy who grabbed those tools and built something. And that's why we have such a great clique. We get along really well, and we just think pretty similar. And I'm a hell of a listener.
Nice.
Yeah, he speak your language. Sometimes even somebody could be a great coach, but they don't know how to communicate to you. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it's like you have the height. It's like a relationship, you know. Two people could be great, but they're not high for each other, and you guys is high for each other, you know.
Yeah, it's the same frequency, so it's easy to click with somebody like that, and I really feel I'm on my way to get the belt, and I just feel good with everything around me. I feel in shape. I feel healthy. My mind is in the right place, and I'm just doing all the little things that are gonna take me to the next level every day.
Nice. Yeah. So you, obviously you're waiting to see what happens with Yan and Sugar Sean. I mean, but you already beat Sugar Sean, so, and decisively. So, but you know, obviously that's an important fight that's coming up. We just had Sandhagen win that fight with Song Yadong. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that one, and like, because you and Corey haven't fought, right? You and
no, we were supposed to fight on February. I think he got hurt and he pulled out. So that's why I took the fun fight, and then honestly, right now I feel like I just beat somebody higher rank that he beat. So I feel like if Peter Yan beats O'Malley, I go straight for the belt. I feel if O'Malley gets in there and beat Jan, you know, there's nothing we can do. That's number one contender. You beat number one, you fight for the belt. So over there, it's, you know, it is what it is. But fighting, you know, you gotta fight first. So as of right now, I'm pretty confident there's a chance you get a title shot. But also, if things don't go my way and they tell me like, hey, fight for number one contender, I'm really good with that too. So I'm not really tripping. I'm not really expecting anything. I'm just staying ready. Whoever comes this way is gonna get sleep.
Nice. Well, plus we have TJ obviously fighting Aljamain. Do you think it's going to be Ant Still or Ant New?
You know, it's really hard to know. I really believe, seeing the records and seeing the kind of like the math, last time Aljamain fought somebody that was able to defend the takedown, he don't really fight. He kind of like throw some heavy kicks, but everything he does is just to get a hold of you. Like, he's not like, he don't sit in there and try to beat you up. He don't really peep nobody. He's not like really like making you miss and make you pay. He just go for a really sharp takedown attack, and he hopes for either backpack you or just hold you down. And a guy like TJ can definitely wrestle. So Brian Caraway beat him in that fashion. He kind of like out wrestled him, and he kind of like panics. Marlon Moraes defended a couple of takedowns and knocked him out. Asunzaro, same thing, defended takedowns and come on fought him hard. He's just, you know, he's a great athlete. He can win fights like that. I don't sleep on a guy like that, but he's not a real fighter. He's not in there biting the mouthpiece, and, you know, he'd rather live another day than get in there and scrap. So T is a real fighter. He comes in strong, and he comes to beat you up. So my only guess would be, is TJ healthy? Is he like young? Is still young enough to do it? Because I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah. But you know, this is not a. This sport is for younger people. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking TJ can beat him up, but who knows, right?
Right.
Okay. Who knows? Is indeed, you never fucking know in this game, bro.
Never.
For some reason, you guys is frozen for me.
You're perfect. Yeah, you're perfect.
Just keep talking. We'll tell you if you froze, okay?
Yeah, we'll
tell you if you froze. Go out and came back in. Send me another.
No, you're perfect. I don't know why you keep thinking you're frozen.
I can barely hear you guys. I can barely hear you.
Did you smoke weed before the podcast? You high?
No. You are though.
Oh yeah, I am.
You're smoking marijuana.
Good stuff. You want some? Maybe if you smoke this, you unfroze.
Yeah, he would unfreeze. Exactly. Hey, so while he's gone though, I should ask you, what do you think of what happened in Mackenzie's fight? Because, you know, it was she had her moments. She definitely had her moments, and she came really, really close. And we kept talking about, you know, obviously she's so creative on the ground. But like, Rashad was saying the one thing that he thought for her, she needs to work on some of those transition things and kind of work on, getting those transitions from striking into the grappling. And I'm curious what you thought of her fight.
Yeah, I think like it was definitely 3 rounds to 2 rounds. So you basically lost the decision. But either the second or the 5th round could be a 10-8, which that make it a draw.
Yeah.
So
right.
Taking all the who I'm rooting for or whatever, I really thought coming to the decision it was a draw. And they give majority decision to the other fighter, which what we can do about it. I've been robbed before in a horrific way, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's more like just getting back to the gym, improve, staying busy, and really just letting it go. Use that as a learning experience, and get back in there, get back in the horse. Rashad have a great point. How you get to a takedown if you're, the transition is a really important thing. She's more the type of guy that she will make you scramble to get to you, and she did that pretty well. So
right.
Am I back?
You're back.
You are.
It's just a matter of time and see, get back in there and put in work. Like there's nothing we can do about it. Let it go.
You're talking about Mackenzie?
Yeah.
Use the anger of defeat just to get better. Just say, fuck the world, I'm gonna get better.
Yeah, my check on that fight is like, I didn't know whether she was gonna win or lose, but I thought either way is gonna be a great fucking experience. It's gonna be the stepping stone to her winning the championship someday. I think that even this loss is gonna be great for her.
And honestly, there's not too many girls in the division. You can have a setback, win a fight, and you're back in the mix in the top 5.
Exactly.
So it's actually it's not easier because fighting is not easy, but it's just getting there. Make sure you put in a good performance, and you're back in track. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it was only because she was number 5 going into it, and she lost to number 6. So it's not. It's not.
Normally,
bad.
you go 10 steps down when you lose a fight. She's going 1 step back. So
exactly. So question here, mixed martial anarchist wants to know, Chito, would you fight Merab?
I fight anybody.
Yeah, I think
that's a fact. They asked me to fight him, Audio, both. I'm just confident. I train so hard that I don't care what you do, what's your style, if you're a grappler, if you're a wrestler, if you're a striker. It's a fight at the end of the day.
Well, I have to agree with Rudy here saying you versus Corey would be legendary. And that's why I had asked you about Corey, because I do think you versus Sandhagen would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But what number is Sandhagen?
I think he's number 2 now, maybe?
No, 4.
Oh, is he number 4? Okay, so it's...
And what are you?
5.
You're 5.
He's 4. Merab is 3.
Oh, yeah.
TJ is 2. And Jan is 1.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the height thing is for no matter what happened with I think that you should fight the winner of Yan and fucking
I know, but he already beat Sugar Sean.
I understand that, but for the UFC is gonna want to fucking put these two together. Come on. They're gonna want.
But I wouldn't do the rematch with you yet. I would save that rematch to when you're champ.
I think you're right. I think the UFC might just wait to see what happened on a title. It might be bigger pay-per-view. And at the end of the day, I'm just kind of really confident with myself because I'm giving the UFC what they want. Yeah. Somebody snorking face down, just fully fall asleep. So that's why people sometimes try too hard, they ask too hard that I deserve this, I need this. I'm I don't even need to ask for anything. The way I fight, I just need to smile, just chill, wait for my chance because I'm not a guy that sometimes put on fights like that. I only put on fights like that. So
true. That's why people love you. I mean, that's why people is fan of you because you always come there's two things. You always come to fight, to kill or be killed, but then you also come with surprising. You know what I mean? Like with drama and excitement. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And what's funny to me too is that people can't see a pattern here. Like for instance, when you beat Cruz, a lot of people fucking, you know, in the comments, the keyboard warriors, oh well, he was losing the fight until then, he got lucky or whatever. And it's like, don't you realize that that's the same fucking recipe that happened almost every time, where he's feeling it out and
slow
figuring
start
out his distance
and then
and then kabam, and then the fucking guy is got you bad. So what's different? He get lucky every fucking time.
I'm lucky, man. Great. I'm fucking lucky. I'm so lucky that I'm happy. I'm happy to be lucky. So
yeah, you're the luckiest guy on earth. I mean,
and I'm lucky to be happy.
Yeah,
it's true.
So it's
but
like
he's right.
What they have a character on the X-Men like that. You know that chick Domino or whatever. She's like, her superpower is to be lucky.
Yeah.
Well, you know the one from Deadpool.
Yeah, I know. I love that movie.
Yeah. So you might as well be like that, because every fucking time you get lucky, you lose in the fight.
I'm like Deadpool.
Yeah,
you're Deadpool.
Exactly.
You know, I do wonder though if that is tricky, right? Because that is the sort of alleged formula, is that you quote unquote start slower and finish strong, and people know that like they have to look out for you as a fight goes on. They can never count you out. And maybe from now on, you're only ever going to have 5 rounds. But does that ever come into play? Like when you have 3 rounds versus 5 rounds, have you figured out like your formula now for how long it takes you to download information about your opponent and get your timing?
Well, we always work on, you know, like the faster start and everything. But the other things, like, you don't come guns blazing. Like Dominic came crazy at me. He came like swinging at me. And I'm like, is that the formula? Is that means you're gonna win a fight? I'd rather get a feel for it. Like even in the fun fight, that's probably the biggest puncher in the division. I fought him healthy and fought him young. He's way bigger than me. Yeah, sure, he connects 1,000 punches. That's a world record. I don't have a scratch in my face. I'm not a superhero. It's called good defense. So look at Floyd Mayweather. Is he getting all those punches in his face? No. Forearm, elbows.
Right.
It is what it is. So that's what. And the best thing about me, I'm not in the comment sections. I don't ever read what people say. I don't know where the world's at. I don't read. If I want to read, I go for a cool book, or I listen to a book. But reading comments, I believe is weakness. It's because you need either to read the good, and you need the bad to be upset. I'm like, why am I gonna get upset about whatever the fuck somebody I don't know say? Like if it's my mother, if it's my best friend, if it's my coach, they text me.
Right.
And that opinion, I pay attention more. But
I love it.
Whatever Renato 322 with no picture, no follower says, hey, fuck you, bitch, you suck. I'm like, sure, I suck.
I agree. You know, that's what everybody should aspire to. But sometimes it's easier said than done. For you practicing that. For other people, it's seductive to look at the comments. You go, you know how
it's depressing.
Sometimes people in relationship, they ask question. Women ask me, how many women you sleeping with besides me? I say, you're better off to don't think about that one.
Don't read the comments.
Don't focus the negative. You know what I mean?
Focus in the positive. I'm still coming and see you.
I'm here now.
Exactly.
Hey, so listen, Chito, there was, you know, for a long time we were on lockdown when we were working. Obviously, people know we work together. And so we were able to hang out a few times in the bubble, which was a lot of fun. And I do remember one time, though, your dog would not stop barking, and everybody in the hotel was like, whose effing dog is that?
That would be me. That would be me, too.
For a minute, I thought it was a great idea. Bring my support dog to do commentary. Yeah. I left that fucker in the hotel. He pee and shit in the bed. Thank God I don't got caught. I was able to clean it. And I was like, no more support dog for me, because that motherfucker was screaming like I was like, dude, I'm going to grab a water downstairs. he will cry like somebody's killing him. But I spoiled the dog, so it's my fault.
I know.
No more
I'm the
dogs.
same way. My doggy come fucking everywhere with me. You know, like she sleep in the fucking bed. I take her fucking everywhere, and people is like, "Cara, you gotta bring your dog to every fucking thing you do."
Yeah,
said, hey,
I used to do it, and then I realized like it's not the best idea.
yeah, it's tough. When I go out of China, I miss my fucking doggy. Ugh,
Yeah.
But it was cute. But it was fun to have. I mean, I did like that. I did like that. But you know, I think people know, right, Chito, about when you're not fighting and when you're not training, you enjoy psychedelics, you like some of that kind of medicine. And I know, we've had Rashad on before, and Rashad was talking about it a lot. I'm curious, do you think that kind of stuff, like, what did that do for you and your fight career? Like, did that, open your mind? Did that change your self-belief? Like, what does that do for you? And why is that like a draw for you?
I just really believe that anything that comes from the earth will help you. That's what, like, the way I eat, the way I live my life, I try to do it in the most clean way. I also believe that most people sometimes get a little too over the fence in, like, they go too crazy with the mushrooms or with weed. And to me, weed and mushrooms is more like when I feel I need it. I also, of course, I smoke socially, of course, but to me, it's more like to give my body something good out of it. Like if I do mushrooms, I take a bigger dose before I do 15, 16 miles run. And I do that just to make my it's like a supplement for my brain in a way. I see
you
like
can
that.
run on mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I start sweating cold.
yeah, because
it's
it
great.
don't affect your equilibrium or you breathing.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
I just don't know if I've never done it the kind that there are now that everybody's doing, where you're like seeing psychedelic, like all that, like I don't know how it makes you want to do, like, what to your body, like what you want to do.
The thing is also like it's kind of like a trend now. Like everybody now talk about the microdose. Everybody do like a little gum here and there, but to me has never been like that. For me, it's like when I was 16, 17. Somebody told me, hey, this is good for you. I ate a bunch. I got fried for a couple hours, and I was like, you know what? That was a little heavy, but I don't smoke just for smoke. Like, if I'm in a good mood, I smoke. If I want to think, I smoke. If I want to chill, I smoke. But I'm not like all day, every day, just getting high for no reason. Right. So I feel like the exaggeration is what is really fogging with society, because people just think like you just smoke, or just do a lot of drugs, and then becomes more like a bad thing than actually getting the benefits. Like if we talk about mushrooms, they make the blood flow in your brain to have a better flow, to go through places you don't go. So the circulation, you get the benefits. You can heal trauma. You can heal, even if it's trauma from a punch. But I do it when I need it. I really feel I gotta figure it out in a way that makes me happy when I do it, and I feel I got the benefits. But people gotta read about it. You gotta get into it. Ask people that did it before, and don't be an asshole and just do it just because you want to get fucked up, because that's not the point.
That's not the point.
Yeah. I think that's the traditional meaning, the traditional way of it anyway. When people did it for a ceremony and stuff like that, was to learn and to get into, to better yourself, not to fuck yourself up.
Exactly, and then you also will see where your thoughts go. You will find out a lot about yourself. Like if you feel like you're panicking a little bit, you find a lot of you see if you would throw the towel and you stop fighting in a way, like just calm, relax. You're not gonna die. No one die on a panic attack either on weed or mushrooms. Just relax. It's probably
Chito, I've had an experience where I ate too many, where we was eating and then I didn't feel nothing. We was just taking handfuls of that shit and drinking a Snapple, and I didn't felt nothing. And I said, fuck it, let's get another 8 or whatever. We started just munching that shit down. Carayo, I thought I was gonna fucking die. I thought I almost voluntarily want to go to a mental hospital. I said, you need to lock me up. I don't know what the fuck.
You definitely fried out. Yeah, you
But
definitely.
the good thing is, one of my friend, his mother was an old hippie, and they knew they had to get me to to her place, and she just calmed me the fuck down. And then I went, and she talked me down, because I was thinking all kind of crazy. You know, I remember I tried to chill out in my friend's home because he had like a poster of Bob Marley, and I was like, Bob Marley gonna save me from this one or whatever, you know. And then, but also he had a poster of this. This is old. This is dating me, but Spud Webb. It was like a short player in the NBA,
Right.
and he won the dunk contest, but he was like 5'5", 5'3" or some shit. And there's a poster of him winning the dunk contest, okay? And he's doing a reverse dunk. And then I started looking at that one, and then I start seeing the crowd, and then for some stupid reason in my mind, I go, look at the crowd. Why are they watching him like that? This is personal. He's doing this for him. This is arch. This is his personal moment. And I see the crowd, and they're going, like that. And I said, why are they treating him? Why are they looking at him like this? And then I started freaking out about some shit like that, some existential shit like that. And then I go into another fucking direction.
That doesn't sound fun.
And then my friend was cooking hamburger, and he's like sizzling on the fucking grill, and I see the blood coming out of the thing, and I start thinking about the fucking hamburger and the animal, and I mean every fucking thing was. I was like, oh god, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, you can always eat more, but you can never eat less. So you gotta be careful with that.
You know what? That's the fucking rule of thumb, and I try to tell. That's exactly how you can always eat more, but you can't eat.
Can't have less.
Oh god, are you? Yeah, it can be a fucking nightmare if you're not in the right state of mind and you have too much of the one.
Yeah, I have the Rashad gave me a little set of like extracts or whatever to like put in your water, you know, like turkey tail, lion's mane, and you know, different stuff. Because like you said, it's good for your brain. It's that it like feeds your neural connections and stuff, right?
And we're talking about a psychedelic mushroom. You're talking
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I haven't done those like ones where I'm hallucinating and all that.
It's really supplements for your brain. So
yeah,
you know, you just gotta do it right and don't get over the fence. You know, that's why like I really give it to nobody. I advise people, if you want to do it, research before you do it, because it's not for everybody. Some people don't really like what there's in their minds. So if you smoke weed or do motion, you want to find out those things you don't want to see. And that's what I say, like, you know, maybe that's why people is not really, most of people is not happy. They're in a shitty job. They don't want to do it. They just do it for the money. They're not healthy. They're eating bad food. I mean, like, everything is connected. So I just feel I'm in a good one.
I have a question. I wonder too, for folks who don't know, and because I remember, Chito, when you first got on the scene, like we were talking about this at work on the air, actually, after your win. But for folks who don't know, one of your children had to have surgery, and she had a rare disorder. And I remember when you first got on the scene, and it was like you were fighting and you wanted to get the bonus money so that you could help her and everything. And now she's doing so much better, and she's had the surgery. And I do wonder if that helped you too, get just a different perspective on life. Like, you've already been through so much and so much struggle with a child, and you know, a lot of this other stuff in life that people blow up to be so important. Like you've had, you know, firsthand the really, really, truly important stuff.
Yeah, you know, it was, for me at the beginning, was my all focus was make the money to pay the surgery. And you know, in my first couple of fights in the UFC, you know, when somebody tells you this surgery costs 80 grand, you're like, I'm making 10 and 10. So my whole goal was keep winning, keep getting bigger, and eventually one day collect the money. You know, like most, like the regular family will buy a house when they collect the first time that money. For me, it was like, I don't will ever buy anything before I get my daughter the surgery. She needs just to have a better everything, growing up better, be able to move her face better, the mouth, and be able to smile. And you know, that I told myself, like, I will never forgive myself if she gets to 18 years old and she asks me why you never did it, and then I will be like, why? Because I'm a piece of shit, because it didn't work.
Right, because I bought a watch instead. Like,
yeah, so I was like, for me, it was like, I'd rather die trying than don't get it. And once you get that, it was like, okay, now I need to do the easy stuff. Get a house, get a world title. Because that was the hardest, because the pressure I had on that since a young age was, oh, my daughter. And I was like, I just don't want she to be old enough to ask me why you didn't do it, why you didn't afford it, what you were doing. And I was like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's like my kids, ungrateful. They ask me why I
You-
don't pay nothing, and I try to make them strong. I try to build character,
But
but
by
they
not
don't appreciate. So maybe your way is better. I guess.
taking care of them. Yeah, Chito, I don't know if you know, he doesn't take care of his children. He's
Listen, I have a. This is new. I identify as a person who don't have kids.
Hey, these days, that should be okay these days, So you can literally leave the kids locked up in the car, windows up, noisy. No one can call the cops because you identify as a non-dad.
They
Hey,
weight cutting in there. Caralho. I'm keeping
yeah.
them lean. Yeah.
It's funny, like these days we can talk about that and it's really can happen.
Well, your imagination can take you far, like your fight career.
Yeah.
In fact, I was impressed. I saw an interview with you. I think it was Herschel Walker or whatever. He was talking about your upbringing. First of all, I was laughing because you said that you used to fight it homeless kids just for fun. But in case you're thinking he's being an asshole, they was kicking the shit out of him. So he wasn't just beating up.
Oh,
like
you don't bully those fucking kids.
No.
Those kids will kick your ass.
This is
They're on the streets all day.
yeah.
And I was a fight fan.
Yeah.
So my cousin or my brother will give $2 to these kids. Say, hey, you wanna fight these kids? They were like, no. I give you $2. Because when I was a kid, I grew up basically playing soccer on the street with these kids, or I will go for a bike ride, and those are the kids that you hang out because they're in the block. In Ecuador, homeless kids are like, it's like the homeless adults in the US, but now the parents send the kids to work or sell things in the corners, and you end playing with those kids. So
it's the same in Brazil. It's the same.
yeah. So with those, my cousin would be like, hey, go and fight a guy for, I don't know, $5. They will take it and go and punch me, and I was like, okay, seems like we're fighting, and they beat the fuck out of me, but I can always say I never back down a fight.
Yeah.
Damn, hard times.
One of my older brother used to do that. He was sadistic like that. If I was at the park and I met like some kids and I'm getting along with them, he would make us to fight. Like he would say, you can't get out of here until you fight each other. And then he was, because he was fucking sadistic. So he wanted us to, if he see we having fun, he wanted us to be like punching each other in the face and saying.
My older cousins, if they will be playing soccer and a kid my age will do something that bothers them, and because they're older, they cannot punch him or fight him, they would tell me, hey, I don't like him, go and punch him. And I was like, really? Okay. And I would just go and just blast somebody in the face because they sent me to do it.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, so he reminded me when I was hearing about that stuff, it's like you had no direction back then, but something inside of you needed to fight. There was something inside of you that you were searching. You was kind of like, I don't want to be in school. I don't want this. I don't want necessarily that. Mm-hmm. There's something I want to. And then when fighting came to you, when you found out you could make money and a living at that, it was like,
that was it.
This is it. You heal and that's why I think you're having so much success, because it's like your North Star. Like at a certain point, like when you put a GPS, you put the direction, you're like, okay, this is where I'm going. I feel that you have almost like a tattooed in your spirit to be oh, fuck. Did I disappear again?
No, you're there.
Perfect. You're perfect.
Wow. Out and freezing, whatever. Anyway, I feel like you have like where you're going, you have that like tattooed on yourself, like you have that GPS, you're like you're going there. And I feel like no matter if you lose one, win one, or whatever, somehow you fucking going there,
That's the way life works. You gotta figure it out somehow. It didn't went well the first time, maybe not the second time, but if you just keep on plowing away, you get there. A lot of people gave up right before they get to the finish line, but since the finish line we cannot see it, it's imaginary. You think like, probably I'm not gonna make it, and that's I think the biggest issue. Like people didn't do that extra. Fuck it, let's go. People want things a little more easier, and nothing in this life is come easy to you. You gotta go and get it.
Yeah, you got to keep going. It's hard because I know on certain things I'm like, well, maybe I should stop trying on that, but it's not in my nature to stop trying. So even if I, on the one hand, like talk myself out of it, I'm gonna keep going because that's just who I am. That's who I am. But Renato, you used the word tattooed on him, and that is obviously something else, Chito, that you are very well known for is all the artwork on your body. Are you the type that gets something new after every fight, or like what's the most recent? What do you still want to do? Because I know we were talking because you had what's his name, the amazing guy, do it, and everybody's like, oh, there's usually a really long wait list. You're like, yeah, but I'm Chito,
Yeah.
Mr. Cartoon, right?
Mr. Cartoon did my whole back, and he just did the bottom part. We have one more session just to do like lining and clouds, but it's pretty much done. But I used to
Clouds.
do
You got clouds on there and everything, huh?
everything. I got clouds on
Wow.
my chest too. I like clouds.
Yeah, Karyn Bryant have a tattoo of me on her lower back.
I don't though. I have no tattoos. This is a pure canvas over here.
Gosh,
Yeah,
Same, like-
I'm like maybe 6 tattoos away to be done.
I was gonna say, where's the real estate? What's left?
Well, you know what's next? This.
No, fuck that. No, fuck that.
You're not gonna be able to be a broadcaster with that.
No, not even
Yes,
like not even that. Face tattoos are stupid. I'm gonna do my full head, the hairline, sure, but face.
See?
No, but I already have a head tattoo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine with me. I think it looks good. If someone's
Face-
covered like the Illustrated Man, I think it looks
Face
good. I don't
not
care.
cool. I'm not a fan of the face tattoo.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
you say that now,
well,
and when they run out of real estate, then they have nowhere else to go.
Well, I have my whole stomach, ribs, my leg. I still have some.
but getting
Oh, the
Mr. Cartoon,
hip.
I mean, that's a big deal though, Mr. Cartoon. So.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, the Mr. Cartoon. But when you Chito Vera, you get the Hoyle treatment. Oh, speaking of which, I know you're a big superstar in Ecuador, And when I was thinking about you coming on here, I thought to myself, I live in LA, I've lived in New York. I know a lot of different type of Latinos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like Ecuador is one of those places that most people, at least in the United States, don't have any clue about the culture there.
I knew one person.
Huh?
I'm saying, yeah, I knew one person from Guayaquil
Me?
in my lifetime. Other than you, I've met one other person from Ecuador.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, what is it? If you was to say about Ecuador, like if you was to say like, oh, Renato, you gotta go to Ecuador. Here's what we do in Ecuador that nobody does nowhere else. It's like, this is us. This is it.
I say we have great food. People is really cool. People is gentle. And it's a small country, but it's so fucking diverse. You can be on the city, like regular city, a little boring buildings, maybe a couple cool churches, cool buildings, but it's a city.
Yeah.
1 hour to the left, you're in the beautiful beach. Great weather. You drive another extra hour, and you got mountains and the beach. You go 4 hours north, and you are in Quito, the capital, and you have like beautiful mountains, a total different infrastructure. Cuenca, which is it's going up to Quito, is like old school. It's almost like looks like almost like Europe, like a lot of rock type of papers in the street, old buildings, really looking good cultural wise, beautiful churches.
What you're describing, it sounds a little bit like Peru.
It's similar to Peru. It's similar, yeah.
Mhm.
It got a little flavor, but Ecuador is small. So like in 10 hours you can find jungle. You can get to anywhere.
But is Ecuador, do you guys have the, not the rights, but like, do people, when they go to
Galapagos.
Galapagos, do they leave from Ecuador?
Well, that's Ecuador. It's part of
That
Ecuador.
is, yeah. So I would like to go to the Galapagos Island sometime. Have you ever been?
I never been, but it's beautiful. It's so cool. So
I can't. Well, why haven't you gone then?
because if you know, when you're from there, you can go anytime. So I guess like you just
So you never went.
Yeah.
I get it. It's kind of like when I lived in New York and I never went to the Statue of Liberty or the Empire State Building or anything, because why would you? But, you know, picking up on what Renato was saying, like, you know how from what I've heard, you know, in the Asian community, like one Asian culture doesn't like to be mistaken for the other Asian culture and this and that. Like, does Ecuador, are you guys like, is there a, do you have a beef with any other, you know, countries? Like, is Ecuador, like when you play soccer, who's your biggest rival? What's the whole, you know, like what's the beef with you guys?
There's not really any rival in Ecuador. Like,
No.
I think we just chill.
You just chill.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because they're the small one. They don't want no beef with fucking big country.
Bro, we tiny country. Our arm is not too big. LA is bigger than Ecuador, so
Crazy. That's
we
crazy.
That's true.
we just stay away from fighting.
That's crazy.
Them.
So the food out there, so obviously we know what Mexican food is like. We know even Peruvian food, whatever.
Mhm.
What's some stuff that you have in Ecuador that we like wouldn't, that is different?
Ecuador, every single city is like a different country.
Oh, for here. Okay.
Like the full different menu. If you're in the coast, you got good seafood, great sushi, great seafood soups, rice, bean, and steak. If you go to Quito, you got a lot of soups, a lot of pork.
Mhm.
It's just.
Is there a dish though, or a street food that's like only Ecuador?
A lot of plantains. The way we
Oh,
eat
yum.
I love it.
other country eat plantains. We
Yum.
eat plantains in so fucking many ways that you won't find that anywhere.
I love. That's good for me because I love
That's-
the sweet one. I like the other one.
The tarts, the Jamaican plantain tarts, like I would bring them back every time.
Very similar, but we make it.
Oh my God. Where next time, Chito, where can we get those in the States though? Because those are so good.
Like if you get plantains, you just need to cook it right. If they're green, there's some specific stuff to do. If they're like more
If they're more ripe, right, then they'll have more sugar in
you
them.
can do something else. They're close to a banana, so you can do fried. You can do so many
Maduro.
things.
They have
Maduro.
Maduro and tostones.
Exactly. Maduro. We call it verdes to the tostones. Tostones, they call it in, I think, Puerto Rico. I
Yeah,
believe.
that's the Puerto Rico. I used to live in New York for a long time, so I got used to it, guys.
Those are fucking good.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like the
I
kind
know.
of rice, beans, fucking plantain, and whatever the fuck. And the hot sauce.
So good.
Yeah,
So good.
It don't get better than that, you know.
That's
So good. Well,
Now,
you,
what
and you know it's
Wait, carajo,
Yeah.
you stole my Charles. The women out there. If I go meet some Ecuadorian women, what's something I can say to that one? Like it's some slang, Ecuadorian slang, where they know they're like, oh carajo, he's been with Ecuadorian women before.
Well, fuck, poor woman. You know, when women.
thank you. Amen.
Yes,
There's
but
so many
it
crazy
is what
shit.
it is.
So, I think you just go gentle and you ask for something, they give it to you. But you gotta be nice.
I like the sound of that one. I know how to do that.
Woman nice to be treated nice, you know.
Yes.
I always
Don't
treat
go-
that one.
Don't go straight to plan B. You go, you know, say hello. You know, it's starting nice and easy.
Don't go to plan B.
Like don't
That's
go straight to the point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay, because I can provide plan B, no problem.
I know that.
I used to be sponsored by them. When I used to fight, I was sponsored by plan B, cara. Yeah.
Oh,
In Brazil,
my
I do all
God.
the poster, the commercials for that one.
Oh my God.
But yeah, okay. So one other stuff is there some you know how different Latino American country have, like, you know, in Argentina they call everybody Che, whatever. In fucking Mexico, they say güey and all that stuff. What's a couple of slang words that's only fucking Ecuadorian?
We say a lot of mijo instead of brother or bro, mijo.
Oh, mijo. Okay. Yeah, they say, okay, so you say that even to your homeboy, but in like Mexicans, they only like your grandma.
To their kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I say mijo to all my friends. Or bro. Or we don't really use papi. Like some people does, but mijo
that's
is more.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Papi, hey, papi.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind using papi more often than I get to, Chito, if I'm honest.
Chito Vera. I'm surprised they're gonna claim you if you listen. It don't matter if you're Ecuadorian. You go to the East Coast, the Puerto Ricans gonna claim you no matter what.
Yeah. Oh really?
Chito Vera. I know that's mi primo and mi primo.
Yeah, we use primo a lot. Primo.
Yeah, and what I heard your name. Okay, so here's what I'm curious. Your nickname is Chito.
Yeah.
But I heard, okay, so I saw that it mean like shh or whatever. So why you gonna get the nickname Chito? What that means?
To me, when I was a kid, my middle name is Andres. So when people ask me what's your name, I say Andre Chito.
Oh, so like okay, so like almost like if they call a kid
Tito, they call you Tito.
If your name is Charlie, you Carlito, or what? I mean, you Carlos.
Right, the Ito is the little diminutive, Ito. Like yeah.
So Chito, okay.
Yeah.
Andreas, wait.
Andre
yeah,
Chito.
I don't see.
I don't know how you got Chito on Andreas, but okay.
Because I used to say Andre Chito.
Andre Chito.
Oh,
yeah.
Andre Chito. Okay, like Andre Lito. Or
Andre Chito, right? So then you're just Chito, right.
Like Karyn Sita or Renato Chito.
So I just call me Cito. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, Karyn Sita. That sounds kind of spicy.
I'm spicy.
What? But so is Karyn. Don't let her fool you. Look
Karyn got ruined. It's Kebisito.
Kebisita.
Kebisito. Hey Chito, do you have fun doing the broadcast? Like, do you like calling the fights? Is that fun for you?
I just like to watch fights, period. So if I do it live, it's even better. I really enjoy doing it. It's just fun. It's good energy you pick up. You can see things better when they're live. It's in the TV. It's not real. Over there is real.
Have you been caught? See, because my thing was with you is I feel like, have you ever been caught being like, oh shit, like, did you ever swear on the air? Because I feel like as a fighter sometimes, like, I feel like my guys get get caught up in stuff, or they see something coming, or they would have been like, oh, that landed, like, or like they I get into it too, but like, I feel like calling a fight sometimes it'd be hard to not swear and not.
So fuch, but somehow when I do commentary, that turns off. Maybe I'm too professional because I fuck cause all day. But in commentary, the only thing I do in commentary when the fight's boring, I'm like, this is an awful fight. I don't give a fuck if my ears tell me, hey, you can say that. I'm like, fuck you. The fight suck.
Yeah.
So I don't
because the knows anyway. If you pretend that you like,
you can be like, oh, great fight, and then like just fucking make it out.
Yeah.
I go to the point. I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry. This fight's hard to work. It just sucks.
Well, that's good for you. Yeah, I don't swear. It's funny because I don't. Yeah, my thing turns off too, where I don't swear on the air. I've never, and like, even if I don't feel good, the minute I'm like a minute out of going live, then all of a sudden I feel good enough. You know what I mean, for the next hour or whatever. Yeah.
But you don't even swear here. You say like bull crap.
I know.
They change.
I know. Hey, what did you think of? Did you meet Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet him.
To say hi, so I say hi. He's a big MMA fan. He was excited and seems like a very nice guy. For half the amount of success and money he got, it was pretty chill, pretty laid back. You got a couple guys winning a fight, making 12-12 and act like fucking they're the king of Dubai. You want to spit on their faces, but that guy, was an angel. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was bummed I didn't get to meet him, but it was fun watching him and his wife and stuff. And a few times where she was like, "Oh my God," because they were right in front of them, and it was
Yeah,
pretty entertaining. Yeah.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should,
Cool.
give him some privates or something like that. That's the way to do it. Yeah, be like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to fight the Chito Vera way or whatever,
That's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
we talk about training, so maybe in the near future we get some work. Yeah, because
That'd be cool.
I'd be
that'd
like,
be
oh,
cool.
hey, nice to meet you. Hey, here's my fucking card. Let's do it. And I'll have that guy shrimping back and forth, like father's farm or whatever, the shrimp farm. I have that motherfucker doing shrimps the whole day, and while I'm on the phone texting and stuff like that.
Nice.
He's
Well,
gonna
Renato, is there anything else you need to get to? We should probably let Chito go. Is there anything else?
One more stuff I was curious about because look, I'm a old hip hop head from way back, okay? And I don't like a lot of the modern rappers, and there's very few ones that I like it. And one of the one that I like is Action Bronson. And I found out that you guys is like good friends here. How'd that happen? How you guys connect with each other?
That's my brother. He's an OG from New York. He's a big MMA fan. I was also a fan of him, and we didn't knew about we both like each other. One day he hit me up and like, I'm gonna be in LA. Let's meet up. Let's train. And since back then we just have a good link.
That's cool.
We are born the same day. We share,
shit.
so maybe the stars connect us, and we have a really cool bond.
You guys like kindred spirits. Yeah. I can see how you guys
he's a really really cool guy. We always share good wine. He introduced me to the best organic wines out there, and
Cool.
we smoke good herbs, so we're cool.
Yeah, and food. He's a big food head too.
He cooks like a motherfucker. He's a pro. Like when he makes a steak, kind of like sashimi, it's fucking delicious. The lamb hamburger he makes, fuck. He just goes on. He's a Jedi in terms of cooking. He's great.
He's a very interesting character. Like I'm very intrigued by that guy. He's
like very expanding the world. Like he rap. He's a workaholic on workouts. He will do like crazy fucking workouts. He will fucking cook. He's a chef. He's into music. It's like it's a trip. Like the guy is like a 360. He does it all.
A Renaissance man, like like your Uncle Henach. I'm a man of the world, guy.
I knew you were gonna. It's not.
What?
Really.
Listen,
Do you cook?
I do cook, Carayo. Maybe
You
not.
make music. What do you do?
I make beautiful music. I play music when you come over. I play music, Carayo.
Okay. And on that note, pun intended, we should let you go. But Chito, what's the next fight you're working?
I'm doing the 15. I'm doing commentary the 15.
Oh, with Grasso, right? Yeah, that'll be good. And Araujo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araujo.
That's a nice fight.
Tell Alexa, give to her my best.
No,
Alexa
you
my
stay
love.
away from Alexa Grasso. That is a sweet little, beautiful little girl. You stay away, Renato.
No, I'm gonna broaden her horizons or whatever. She's gonna learn.
No,
I'm gonna like mushroom for her. She's gonna take this one and she's gonna fuck her whole life up or whatever.
Stay away from her.
It's gonna upend everything.
Stay away. Exactly. Stay away from her.
No, you have to. You have to face this, just like the mushroom. You can't run away from this.
Yeah.
It's important.
Well, listen, Chito, I'm really glad that that we were able to do this. And listen, your fights are so fun to watch. They're just so energetic.
Shit, I forgot. There's one more stuff I forgot.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's a technical question. Okay. Now I love one of the things I love about how you fight is that you can fight conventional, and I feel like sometimes you can lull someone to sleepy and then throw out something exotic or something that is like from old school martial arts, like we call it exotic in MMA, but it's traditional martial art. You know, like it might be a taekwondo or a karate kick or whatever. Where does that come from? Where did someone taught you traditional martial art as well?
I never. I went straight to jiu-jitsu, and that was my first martial arts. And I was always a fan of the way John Jones and Carlos Condit mix it up back in the day with kind of like the work ethic and consistency of GSP. Those were like the three guys I look up growing up, and they might kind of like add the Diaz cardio. I'm kind of like I pick up a little bit from everybody I like.
I
like
that.
the pressure and the meanness of the Diaz, the creativity of Jones and Condit, the work ethic, and just lead by example of GSP. And I kind of like blend it together. That's why my elbows are like that. I never really been on Thailand. I never turned like this Muay Thai master, but great elbows just from, just I just see an open and say, fuck you.
Yeah, you the creativity. So in terms of some of those kicks that you throw out, because to be honest, this is karate. This is like certain.
Yeah, the hook kick, the high kicks.
So you did this from just watching and imitating?
Yeah, like I never been in a martial arts schools like that. I do a lot of back work, and in the back I really get very funky, and I see things, and I'm like, okay, that really seemed that powerful, or this didn't really seem it's gonna hurt you. I'm gonna throw things that are gonna make you, it's gonna hurt you.
I like that. I like that. You that's a great way to kind of learn organically, you know?
Yeah. Not forcing anything, just letting it go.
I like it. I like that. I see a lot of success for you. I'm a believer for sure. You know, in fact, both you and Mackenzie, never mind what happened the last fight. I'm still on the bandwagon of Mackenzie.
For sure.
That she's gonna be a future champion.
Listen, Renato, her that was only like her, like she's still so young in her MMA career when you really think about it.
She doesn't think, I'm sure in her mind, she's like, I was supposed to do better. But us who's been watching, we're like, take it easy, you're gonna get there, you know?
She'll be fine.
Yeah. But I'm excited for you guys, for you, Mackenzie, Perillo, you know, and you know, Luke Harcourt, even though he's Hichaya, hopefully he don't go head to head with me on like a modeling contest or nothing like that.
Yeah, that would be a good fight right there.
The shadow.
Yeah, wow.
Can you imagine? If it was like a 5-round modeling, I'm gonna go 50. It's gonna be 50, 47, 50, 45, 50, 45, and 50, 45.
The humility, Chito.
By unanimous,
I deal with on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Listen, he knows. Listen, ask Luke Harcourt. He knows who's the boss.
Can we?
He knows.
Okay, Chito, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's you know, I always love seeing you at work at the Apex because you do have such a great positive energy. You're just you know, you said you're lucky to be happy and happy to be lucky, but you really do get that feeling when you're around you. Like you just exude positive vibes, and I think that's why everybody likes to see you at work and everybody likes to be around you, and why so many people root for you. So look at, keep killing it, 4-win streak right now, and you could next be fighting for the title, if not 2 fights from now. But it's just really been great to see you, have you on here, and just keep watching you fight.
Yeah,
thank you.
And speaking of work, when you see Dominic Cruz, tell him Uncle Henach said hi. He's my biggest fan for him.
I will.
Oh, he loved me so much. He loved me to death. Just mentioned that you was here. He's gonna be so excited up.
Okay, I will.
All right, Chito. Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a great one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Thank you.
See you later. Ah, what a good dude.
He have a good vibe to him.
Chito is literally, whenever I see him at work, I'm like, oh yeah. Like he's just Mr. Good Vibes. Like he's just Mr. Good Vibes.
Have a night. He's You can tell he's a thinking man too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You remember, like, it's funny he said about Carlos Condit.
Wait,
Oh God,
hold that thought. Carlos Condit, who was our guest on episode number 13. I just wanted to look up what episode he was. And we had a great time with Carlos Condit, by the way.
By the way, what are you looking at where you could find that information that quick like that?
I have a little list of our episodes and the episode, what number and whatever. Renato, I'm trying to, make stuff happen over here. So I got it there. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, episode 13 with Carlos Conduit. We had a really good time with him. Sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
But sometimes like after we had him on there, and I already knew that, but especially after the show, it's like when you're talking to someone, it's not always the case in this MMA world or whatever, but you can see that there's much more behind, like there's someone, man, and that there's, much like we were saying about Action Bronson, like a Renaissance man, someone who is not just thinking about fighting, but is thinking about the world and, various cultural styles and whatnot,
Yeah, no, I don't know that much about Action Bronson, so that.
True. Oh, fair enough. But if you did, you would understand what I'm saying.
But yeah, Calvin Gregory, I agree. Cheeto going to fight for the title. And honestly, like I was literally like, I do salivate at the idea of him versus Corey Sandhagen. And so I
do too. For sure, I do too. But in fairness to Cheeto, because he was there, if he could get away with not having to do that fight,
let Cheeto be the champ at that point and let Corey fight him for the title.
Yeah. So like, I didn't even want to put that in the universe because I don't want that. I don't want him to have to do that before a title shot.
I know, but imagine Cheeto's the champ and then he's defending against Corey and like.
Listen, that skill set and that with those two fucking guys, the chess match that would be going on there, it would be very fucking exciting. I mean, that would be one of the number one on the fucking list. But the one that I think is the golden goose is the him match of the fucking
the Sugar Sean.
Yeah, I think that's the one any and everybody want to fucking see.
You think?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Okay. Sugar Sean's fans want him to get it back, I guess.
If on one hand you got, if you did a poll and you said, hey guys, which one we have would be the main event? Him versus Sandhagen or him versus Sugar Sean? It's not even close. And it don't mean that people love Sugar Sean. It would be like even Sugar Sean haters would want to see that. They want to see.
Okay, I get it if you're going to phrase it like that. I'm just laughing about taking a poll, working the poll. If you took a poll.
You'd be speechless if I gave you the poll. You're not going to even say nothing about either of that. You're going to forget about the fighting altogether. You're going to be like, who? Hagen? Sam Hagen. Hagen does. Yeah, I'll copy you and Sam Hagen does ice cream for him.
Oh, God. Okay. Hey, so listen. While we were somewhat semi on the topic.
First, then you're talking about a semi.
Now I'm talking about Dern versus Yan. We kind of got into this a little bit, and I agree. I think for Mackenzie, she's still got a bright future. But this was the thing going into this fight that that Rashad, we were talking about at work. That the one thing he was like, the area that she really needs work is like the transitions from the striking to the grappling. And he was saying she really actually does need to work on wrestling. And you as a jiu-jitsu guy, Renato, maybe you can speak to the mindset, but I do think sometimes maybe jiu-jitsu people don't think they need actual wrestling. She works a lot for the submission attempts once she gets there, but I don't know. But he was saying like there's like that connective tissue, if you will, part of the game is where she just needs some work.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that she's a modern jiu-jitsu person. She's not a stranger to wrestling. She's been, even before MMA, she's been working wrestling. Look, and even in that's a judo throw and stuff like that. What I think with her, and what I've tried to communicate to her too, is that she have all the ingredient to be a champion. She got the DNA. She have the athleticism. She have the fighting spirit. She
Exactly.
There's one thing that even Muhammad Ali, or you name the best of the best of the best in the world in history, that you can't just be born with, and that's experience.
Right.
That's the
Makes
one
sense.
thing that no one can just have. You have to gain that one. And
Right.
that's what I think is the only stuff's missing. And this was just one more dipping the toe in the experience there and marinating in the experience. Because aside from the fact that she was fighting a fucking monster who's obviously physically more stronger than her and very battle-chested and been like, she was fighting someone who had more experience.
Yeah.
So that was great for her. But on top of that, and adversity, on top of that, 5 rounds worth of that, and the nerves of being the main event.
Right.
We can't discount any of that stuff. So all of this shit is now in her computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you can look at it like, she didn't get over the hump or whatever. As far as in fact, we talked about that before this fight even happened. I said, I think she have a good chance to win. But even if she don't win, I think that is going to be fantastic for her. It's going to be, it's like a stepping stone to her, you know, being her. She's going to become more dangerous from this, I think.
Agreed. And it will give her a lot of experience. And yeah, Yan had, you know, a stronger strength of schedule going into this fight, and that was the whole thing. Yan already had more experience going into this. Yan had already beaten Claudia Gadelha. She's already beaten Angela Hill, who's a former guest on our show as well, after her win in San Diego as well. So I think Angie was number 40. I want to say episode 49 or 48. But yeah, so Mackenzie still has plenty of time. And she always does add. I mean, listen, like you're saying, the thing what she has is one of the things that you really can't teach. And like you said, that's the pojada. Like she gets hit and she's like, oh, okay, you know, like, and you saw on that footage, like she got clipped clean on the chin several times.
One more thing we found out: she have a hell of a chin too.
Pretty good chin, right?
Just like, you know, certain people just have power. Like, for instance, Chris Lieben.
Right.
For whatever fucking reason. It's not like he's more diesel than anybody, whatever. For some reason, or even that guy, who's the head-headed guy, Smiling Sam Alvey. For some fucking
power.
He just got the God-given power. And then some people just have the defense version of that is just a chin.
Right.
And you don't know until you need it, you know? And she even have that. And like I said, the only thing she don't got, experience, you know?
Well, Nintendo Melon Juice says that Yan will be champion.
So what? Yan will be champ.
I mean, it's possible. We'll see.
I'm thinking of Peter Yan.
Yes. Not pure Yan Xiaonan. Because look at, she was number 6. She was number 6 going into it. And now she's working with Team Alpha Male. And that's the whole thing, you know. She, you know, if you, excuse me, if you listen to Uriah Faber talk about her, you know, talks about that great work ethic and how hard she works. And, you know, at that same gym, they have Song Yadong, Li Jingliang a lot of the time. And so they have like this little group where she's got some support because, you know, Yan Xiaonan, she came from China and she, you know, she left and moved over to the States to chase her dream. So she's really going all in for it. Say again?
Chinese people, and because there's Chinese people, what if it was just black people or Jewish people?
I'm saying she's got a support system there to where even though she left and went very far from home to learn and hone her craft, she still feels supported and has a little community. She's
well, Uncle Hanach could help her to feel more comfortable too.
Hey, people like your new haircut. Nice fade.
Hey,
Hassan Hayek.
Okay, so I appreciate that, Hassan. But can I tell you something? You're not gonna fucking believe this. I got some clippers. I did this fade myself.
Did you really?
I did the whole fucking thing. I mean,
yeah, you were working curls for a while.
No, I've been having I still got the fucking curls. I'm saying on the side.
Okay. No, I know what a fade is. I'm just saying, but it does look like you cut the top too.
I did cut a little bit there. Right. But I can't believe I really look. Who knew? Like I said, I'm a Renaissance man. I'm a jack about. I'm a jack
No,
of
you're
all.
just a jag of.
You know what? Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't say that to you.
This person said you
but-
did it in the dark. If Daedalus says impressive, but you know, Joe Poppy 24 said you did it in the dark, but whatever. Okay.
Whatever your fucking name is.
You didn't do my mom in the dark. You say that. Wait. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that.
I'm the guy who said that awful, hateful comments about my fade.
Okay. Were there any? Okay, so I'm curious if there were any other fights. What did you think of? Okay, so here we go. Oh wait, where did it go?
Why did
wait. I have it right here. The rude
spelling bee. You're like, I'm curious if you knew any fights.
No, here it is. Rude boy.
I like this.
Yeah, Randy Brown, rude boy, taking on Francisco
like
Trinaldo. And this is why I wanted to talk about this a little bit, because there were 3 fighters over the age of 40 on this card. Francisco Trinaldo is 44.
Yeah.
Alexei Oleinik is 45, and Guido Canetti was 42. So this man here, although he did not win the fights on Saturday, but like Trinaldo had won 5 of his last 6 fights. Like, he's really still a threat.
He is a threat, but you must have felt very comfortable watching these fights, huh? You felt at home. This is your wheelhouse, Carol. You're like an old light-skinned man, black old guys.
Watching old guys. Is that okay? I thought you were saying so because there was a Jamaican fighting, but you were giving me an age. You were dissing me about being old. That's cool. I'm curious though, looking at the 2 of us who people think is older, but we're not going to get into an age talk. We're not going to get into that.
Listen,
we're not getting into that. I'm not going to wear my shirt as low cut as you and do all that, but
I look like I'm not even old enough to be on here. Look at that. I'm not old enough to drink a beer.
Okay.
Wait. You know what I couldn't stop saying? Have you ever seen this fucking video? They use the audio for this a lot on the Chick Jockey videos and stuff. It's like one of those worker that you would get from Home Depot or whatever. He's talking about, he go, Mr. Johnson, Felipe drinking beer.
No, I haven't seen it.
Drinking beer in the water. And I couldn't stop. Does anybody here know about that one?
I don't spend much time on TikTok. Kind of freaks me out.
But on Instagram, they filter into that, like some of those filter in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Drinking beer.
I have not.
Felipe drinking beer in the. Wait, does anybody know what I'm talking about? I couldn't stop saying this, fucking, over and over again in my mind.
Oh, well, thank you, Mixed Martial Anarchist, saying that my desk work last UFC was flawless and seamless as always. Why, thank you.
Cared for it, but personally, I didn't care for it. But either way, not
okay. Oh, I guess this was in reference to the co-main event, Black on Black Crime. Good that we're reporting it. That was a Trinaldo fight, but it was Jamaican on a Brazilian crime.
That was a young Jamaican brother beating up an old homeless black man.
Okay. I'm curious, was there any of these other fights that were exciting to you or not? But the Trinaldo thing out of the main card, I have that one. So we've got Sadiq's fight where he finished the guy in 30 seconds. We had Vyacheslav Borshev, the Slava Claus. Ended up getting
I was excited that Latifi. I felt like we gave Latifi some great energy to win that one.
We did, and I was talking about Alir at the beginning of the show. Alir is still in the hospital, unfortunately, with his staph infection.
Know that he got staffy from Oleinik.
Yeah, no. So listen, Renato, you didn't see. So after he won, he was on the mic because he basically retired. After that fight, because he said, I'm 40 years old. And that's kind of why I want to talk about the age thing. But he had woken up basically that morning and his leg was swollen. found it. He had a fever, so he fought that fight with a fever and with like a staph infection. So then after the fight, he went to the hospital. He's still there. We were literally talking earlier today. We were.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. And so he said
he Chaya.
Well, because he said he's 40, and he was so, but he was like, that's the last fight on my contract. And we know basically he was our guest last week, episode 53, talking about how he wants to do the nature show and do other things. But he basically was saying,
Steve Irwin,
it was time for him to stop it. So he's still in the hospital with staph.
Wow, I'm praying for that guy because that's tough. That can be very. I know a guy. Yeah, that's nothing to fuck around with staph.
I know. So we literally were just.
Let's stay away from Vinny Magalhães. Did I not try to tell him and that he have his staph at all times?
Vinny Magalhães. Vinny Magal
staph. Vinny Magal staph infection. Fucking piece of shit.
Vinny Maga Mercer.
Yeah, Vinny Magal AIDS. Caralho. Fuck Vinny Magalhães, by the way.
Vinny Magalhães is so wrong.
I'm gonna make up a t-shirt and a bumper stickers that have that. You know what? Fuck. By the way, I don't know if I've ever expressed this. Fuck that guy. On another note, fuck.
It's not a laughing matter, but my goodness, that's actually very funny.
A laughing matter but I'm gonna celebrate. One day he's gonna die, and I'm gonna be right there.
Oh my God, that's so mean.
If you think about it, everybody's gonna die, right?
That's true.
So why would I want Vinny Magalhães to outlive me? I hope that he die first, frankly.
Okay. Well, speaking of being close to death, like I said, Oleinik was 45 in that fight.
He was
with Alir. Yeah, so Oleinik was 45. So Trinaldo was 44. Guido Canetti, who also picked up a win, though, so he was the only is 42. And Guido Canetti was 40. Alir is 40. So Guido Canetti is still going to keep fighting, I believe. Like, how old? Because I got to be honest with you, and I don't like Fedor, I think, still wants to fight, right? And our buddy Verdum is coming like back out of, retirement for a fight. And it's like, I got to be honest with you. And Yoel Romero just picked up another win in his 40s. So like on the one hand, there's a part of me that's like all for it. And I want people to, humans are evolving and we're doing better and we can live longer and this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of damage because if you're still fighting in your 40s, how long have you been doing this? And I feel like at that point, I don't want your brain to take it anymore. The recovery is going to be longer. Like, I'm not saying mandatory cutoff ages, but I just don't know necessarily why people want to keep going much longer.
Here's how I look at this one. I don't think it matters so much your age. It matters. I think two things matter. It matters the miles that you have it. Some people, like for instance, he's not going to probably, but let's say if GSP wanted to came out of his channel, the kind of fighter he was, he didn't got knocked out a bunch of times. He didn't got a lot of miles on him in terms of just like a lot of other fucking guys we can think of, let's say
even Vanderlei.
Oh God, even Vanderlei. Like that's a perfect example. When you got in the light shutout, you know what I'm saying? Like so many fucking chimey, and there's certain fighters that we know that bring wars and stuff, but they've been through wars like Tony Ferguson, just war after war after war. You know what I mean? So he's an example. Great guy, great fighter. A lot of miles on that one. So I think it's like a classic car. Certain people have kept that one in the garage, have babied that one, have you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they keep it mint condition, Now, you'll have a certain situation like that. So that make a difference. And one thing I think is probably the most important. Do you have the desire? Because if you're old and you're just fighting for money or you're just fighting for the Hong Heisens or something, that's a recipe for disaster. But if you have a guy that he's so motivated and like he feel like he has something left, he's got passion. I think if you got enough miles left and you have the passion and the desire to get up early and training and to training when you don't feel good, which is everybody's fine like to go to the gym when they feel good, you know?
Right.
But when you don't feel good, when you feel sore and you feel maybe even depressed, or you know, just those days when you can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
If I think that's what Cowboy was talking about. When you lose that, where you have that thing where it's like it's getting you out of bed even when you don't feel like
gotta go kick some butt, and
then you can't really fight anymore, because
Right.
you have to be able to do that. You have to have so much of a desire that you're gonna push past the normal, like, oh, I just don't want to fucking train right now, you know? I can't. You have to have it that there's something that's driving you. And if you lost that and then you don't have it miles, then you finish. So I think it depends. A 40-year-old could be way more motivated than a 38-year-old who just is like, fuck this now, you know?
It's true. And yeah, and with the reasons they're still fighting. And I do think, you know, some people stay too long because they are just fighting for the paycheck, because maybe they didn't save their money, and, you know, or what, I mean, we all need money, right? So I do think, yeah, that happens. But yeah, you're 100% right. Like you can't go in there with this kind of a job if it's not all or nothing, because there is a 22-year-old kid that woke up with nothing else to do except go train for 7 hours today at least. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah,
hungry, heady to take your place.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm, and I guess for me too, it's like with watching Alir and Alexi, it just made me nervous because I know the sledgehammers that Alir has. So it made me nervous if Alexi was going to catch one of those. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to see him get.
I wanted to see that. I wanted to see Latifi.
No, but you know what I mean? Like I wanted to see it, but at the same time, the older a fighter gets, the more you worry about the lasting damage and the recovery. I don't know.
I wanted to see the Queen Latifi.
Of course, I wanted to see the Queen. I wanted to see the Queen get the knockout.
UNITY.
UNIT. Well, that's funny. That's funny. UNIT. UNITY. Okay. So I wanted to ask you then. Okay, so speaking though of athletes, wait, huh?
Don't be asked.
No, I was going to say that goes right into my next topic, because speaking of athletes who are old and who maybe take too much damage and then won't ever be the same. And I told people at the beginning of the show, we are not a political show. But we got to talk about Herschel Walker, because he's a former athlete. And somewhere in my files, I actually have a picture of me and Herschel Walker. And I remember meeting him at a Strike Force show or whatever. And I was like, so excited. I was like, oh my God, my dad and I used to watch you play football, and like, And I was so excited to meet Herschel. And I have a picture with him. And again, we're not going to necessarily get into the politics here, but Herschel is running for Senate on a platform of, no abortions and, taking away women's rights and, a very conservative platform. And then it has come to light that, in fact, 13 or so years ago, he, in fact, probably paid for an abortion for his girlfriend, because the woman kept the receipt from the clinic. She kept the check that he wrote for the abortion, and she kept the thank you card, or the get well card, rather, not thank you, sorry, card that he sent. And that's really what I wanted to get into, Hanach, is the get well card. Yeah, the protocol, because I kind of feel like the get well card is not what she wants. I don't know.
It's like it reminds me of something from like Fast Time at Ridgemont High, like
it's Johnson, totally like that. The roses.
Like, you put the flowers in there. Listen, you gotta love. That's so sweet and dumb, like this fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like she probably gonna want a get well. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get a get well soon card.
It's not. I wasn't sick though. I was pregnant with your baby.
Hey, sorry, I gave you an abortion. Get well soon.
That's just. She wasn't sick.
Yeah, am you still sick? I gave you an abortion. The baby went to heaven. I'm sorry. You get better. Better get well.
Yeah, what did it say inside?
I wish to know that one because some stuff is better not said inside.
And by the way, fellas, ladies, well, ladies are not paying for another ladies. I mean, well, look at don't write a check is probably step one. Like, and the thing is, and now these other things are coming out where one of his sons is saying, you know, you're not a great family man and you went out and you're sleeping with all these other women or whatever. But yeah, like I would think in that case, you want to leave as little of a paper trail as possible.
Listen, obviously this guy's not a fucking, you know, a rocket scientist, a brain surgeon or whatever. You know what I mean? This is not he's not a rocket surgeon over here. This guy's you know, he wasn't known for his thinking skills or whatever. So
yeah,
you know,
people are like, look, it's straight cash. That's what you would think.
First of all, cash. I mean, on something like that, that's almost like paying your drug dealer in fucking checks and then putting in the memo, this is for crack. This is for marijuana. This is for, you know, angel dust.
Miami Noy. Yeah. That's it.
You know, he remind me of, I remember like a Mad TV. I remember one of the characters used to do like an impression of, oh fuck! Of course, I'm gonna forget the name. The Holyfield or whatever. You know.
Evander. Yeah.
Like you know, and chicken wing, barbecue sauce. You know, like he would just say.
Right.
I mean, that's the level of when you see the fucking guy open his mouth. This is guy not only is not smart enough to be in politics. This motherfucker is not smart enough to. I imagine. I mean, would you hire this fucking guy? For instance, you own a fucking fast food restaurant. Would you hire him as the fucking manager?
No.
I don't think you would want him to interact with the customer.
I don't in good conscience see how anybody could see him as a political candidate that would be anything other than a puppet to some interest groups. He literally was talking the other day about solar panels and cars and like I'm gonna have to live in my car now. Like he somehow made this like it's weird. And honestly, like I said, I don't want to make fun of him because truly it's sad. It's like it's after effects of too many concussions. It's the after like he should not be running for office. People, this is not a man ready to fit to serve office. Listen, it's not.
I don't think it's making fun of him per se. What I'm making fun of, I'm not even making fun of him. He is who he is. He's always been that. The thing is I'm more laughing at, I'm making fun of and saying shame on the people that is behind him, honey.
Yeah.
But like I'm making fun of him. I don't expect him to be anything more than what he is. You know what I'm saying? But
true.
But you know, it's just it reminds me of like it's worse than the movie. What is it called? Stupidity or whatever.
Idiocracy.
It's almost worse than that because the guy who played Camacho or whatever the president name, he was even sharper than fucking Herschel Walker.
Terry Crews, wasn't it Terry Crews? I think it was.
That character was way more sharper than
for sure. Well, and honestly, I really brought it up because like I said, I wanted to know for those out there, Renato, and I know you don't support the children that you. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so you don't support, but is the get well card? I feel like he should. I like the idea, the sentiment that you care. It's just get well is what I have a problem with because she wasn't sick.
It hicks of like it feel like the laziest. Like let's say you was going out with a girl, like you was dating a girl, and for Valentine's Day, you don't take her nowhere, do nothing. You just send to her address a Valentine card.
Right.
That said, like, will you be my Valentine? But you don't take her to dinner. You don't give her flowers. You don't fuck her nothing. You just go, hey, listen, happy Valentine.
Yeah.
Or like when you get a Christmas card from somebody and not a present, you know where you stand. You know where you stand with that person. You're like, okay,
right.
I take it as a disrespect. I go like that. Okay, motherfucker. Okay, a Christmas card. It's like that. All right, fuck you then. You know what I mean?
I didn't get you a present last year, but I feel like this year I might be getting Renato a Christmas present.
I think, listen, if you're better off to not send me nothing than send me a fucking Christmas card with your family on there. That's going straight to the sanitation.
It'd be me, Aurora, and 2 fish tanks. Like,
yeah,
here's
and fucking Chidi, and that goes that goes straight from this. I check for cards. I check for cards.
For like, yeah, gift cards. Yeah, like if there's a Taco Bell gift card.
I check for a Jamba Juice card or Amazon or Target. If that's not in there and it says best wishes or season greetings, that's the one. That's the biggest insult. If it don't even say Merry Christmas and it just says season greetings, I go like this. Go fuck yourself. I'll give you a season. I'll give you a
speaking of Chidi, by the way, I meant to bring that up earlier. Chidi was correct again last week. For those who don't know, Chidi picked Yan. So Chidi's record is 7-1. And literally the only one he's missed was actually he picked Cruz over Chito, which was like, you know, could have gone.
One guy ended up going.
But Chito is on a complete tear. Yeah, so he picked Yan. So we don't have one for this week because there's no fight. So next week's show we'll have his take on Grasso versus Araujo.
My problem with him with this is like it's so seductive. Like I told you behind the scenes, it's so seductive to want to use him as like Jimmy the Greek or whatever now. But the problem is, I can almost guarantee you. In fact, you know what? We should do an experiment.
Okay.
You should bet against Chidi next Chinese. And I'll bet for him. And I guarantee you're going to win. For some reason, you
think you're going to beat him?
If I bet, it never fucking fail. If I start, like for instance, I played fantasy football against some people from my old high school, from Copacabana High or whatever. Okay, we have a fantasy football league.
Did together. You get Neymar?
Huh? A gay bar? What?
Neymar.
No, we don't play soccer. We don't play
American football. Since you said it was with your Brazilian friends, I thought you meant football.
True, but we do that one because we're trying to accumulate to the
assimilate.
We're trying to assimilate. So I'll have. I don't know if you know how fantasy football work. Okay,
yeah, I do.
But it'll be like,
even though I'm a girl, I do.
Okay, so it'll be like this every fucking Chinese. Okay, for instance, I have like a 3 quarterback. Okay, you can play one in the quarterback position. You can play one as an offensive player, a generic like OP. Okay. And then the other guy you have on the bench in case one of them get hurt or they have like a bye week or something like that. So I have Mahomes, I have Derek Carr, and I had a Chua Chagagigi or whatever, the fucking Maori guy, the Hawaiian kid.
Oh, the Dolphins.
But put it to you this way. This fucking guy, I have him on the bench. The fucking week I have him on the bench, he scores like 47 fucking points. I mean, he's the craziest fucking thing. And of course, fucking week, Mahomes have like 12 points or some stupid shit.
And a pick 6 and a crappy week.
But of course he have that. So, okay, I go, Carl, you fuck. I should have never let him on the bench. Then I fucking take Carr. I go, you fucking bum. Get out of there, Derek Carr. Then I put Chua in, and then he get a fucking concussion and get carried away on a stretcher. You know what I'm saying? So it's like every time I try to jump on, like, was hot or was, you know what I mean? It's like I have to, my life don't work that way. I have to have leap of faith for stuff to work for me. I have to like go with my gut. The second I go with something that's like a sure thing is a sure to fail. It's like the universe or whoever's trying to, my God, is always trying to tell me, you have to just use the force. You can't go on like that. You know, I never get the shortcut win. Like it never worked for me.
Well, and I'm hesitant to bet, but he's on such a streak that partly I feel like an idiot that I'm not. And I've always felt that anyway, just at work. Like, I think it was in the news recently, you know, there was some quote I saw where they're like, Joe Rogan admits, you know, he used to bet on fights. It's like, well, it's not illegal. I don't do it either because it feels weird, but technically it's not illegal because we really don't have any say in the outcome of the fight. We're just announcers.
It's so funny because I fucking remember in the early 2000, let's say 2004, back in that day when I was training at 10th Planet, you know, with Eddie Bravo and stuff like that. Those guys was like a best friend. So back in those days, before the UFC was blow up like it is now, he used to really break us off with those chickens, like nice, good fucking chickens. Okay.
Yeah. And
we used to go on excursion over there, you know, a couple of the guys or whatever. Yeah. And so I've hung out a couple times with Joe Hogan back in those days. And every time he would be like, hold up, I gotta go collect my winnings or whatever. And it was like at insult to injury because he was already making 10 million times more money than any of us. But on top of that, he was like, let me sprinkle on some more free money.
Totally.
And like, you just think to yourself, I wish I would have bet them. You know, it's just funny when you watch someone who's already hitched going like
right,
putting more money, stuffing into the coffers, and you're going like that. And that looked nice.
That looks nice.
Like
I just know for me, I would never be okay with betting enough money to make it significant. Like at most, if I really felt, if Chidi picked it and I really in my heart felt it, I might put down like $100 on something. But like, I'm a wuss. Like I'm not going to make big bets.
But guys like Joe Hogan.
Oh, they're making $10,000 bets and stuff.
What they can put down and not miss is like for
totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. In general, I just
different stuff. People don't realize any number of the shit that he's done could make one person hitch. You know what I mean? From it, even News Radio for a lot of working actors. Even just having a show like in News Radio could make you live for the rest of your life.
Sure. With those residuals, he keeps hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and hitting it.
Let's say someone who never did nothing but just was the face of the UFC commentating. You could make a living out of that.
Yeah. Well, he's saying the Ender Band is saying the fact that Joe got rich from being a comedian is unreal. I mean,
okay, then check that. Say he never did any of those stuffs. With the success he had a comedian, you could live for that. Then check his Fear Factor.
Yeah.
You could get very hitch off of that. Then you know the podcast. I mean, so like this motherfucker got 5-10 lifetimes of hitch, but yeah. So I mean, but good for him. But would it kill you to break your Uncle Henach a tribute every once in a while?
Would it kill you to have Festivities hosts on the Joe Rogan podcast sometimes?
Look, I'll settle for just put something in my coffers every month.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I would take being on his show because being on his show would then obviously make other people go, oh, Joe thinks she's cool. Then I guess she must be cool. Because all those people who just believe what Joe says. So, and I always get along with him. So, but listen, like, you know, he has a lot of influence. He has a lot of sway.
I want handouts. I want what's coming to me, Paul.
All right. I'm just going to leave that alone because there was a lot of things I could have said there.
Oh.
But I'm just going to leave that alone. Hey, so listen, folks.
On a better note, Herschel Walker. No, but I like Herschel Walker. One more stuff about Herschel Walker. I love. This is like shot. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, while we finish up the Herschel talk, I wanted to ask people if they had any relationship questions or anything to start getting them in now and start getting them in our comment queue so that we can get to them. So yes, if you guys have any dating questions.
It don't have to be relationship, advice-y questions.
Any advice? Yeah, advice. It could be like, I don't know what to do. It could be family stuff, mom stuff. Could
Dear,
be, yeah,
yeah.
any kind of thing. Anyway, okay, sorry. I just wanted to plant that seed.
It's one of my favorite. I think it's everybody's favorite. To see hypocrisy in action is like such a delicious. It's like that
Right.
Schadenfreude or whatever. It's like,
Yep.
like for instance, when you see a conservative governor or senator or whatever who is like the most anti-gay, and then you hear about them sucking
They're
some
always gay.
like a bus station bathroom, or
They're
it's,
always gay.
it's like, of course, or you know, Cosby always telling people don't curse and you have to do this and that and the other thing, and then you find out he's fucking drugging people and hipping them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like that. Methinks thou dost protest too much.
Exactly. Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Yeah.
The thing with the politicians and the gay thing, it is always the ones who crow about it the loudest that are the gayest.
So,
Always, without a doubt, rather.
I've said it before. I say it again. If you want to see, if you want to find out if someone's gay, all I have to do is post Brokeback Mountain with me and Josh Barnett. And all the guys in the comments that it go, ew, come on, that's sus, that's suspect or whatever. Or you guys is gay, or that's too much. Da da da. That's like, you're just telling me, you're just outing yourself. You're just gay.
Yep. Because it's just damn funny.
That's all it is. If those guys is like, nah, bro, that's too much or whatever. Or they throw a vomit, they show a vomit emoji or whatever.
Right.
I go, oh, you're coming out. This is your coming out party. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
A perfect example of this. I remember one time. So one year, I fell back. I got kicked out of junior high school in 8th grade, and I was gonna have to repeat. So instead of doing that, yeah, it was bad. I was a bad.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. I was bad for two reasons. First of all, I flunked out. I got almost all F's and a D or whatever. Yeah. You know what? Guess what? I thought we talked about this. Guess what? That grade point average is what I had that year. You know how you hear certain things is points, or one, you have a 2 point or 3 point, whatever. Guess what that average is?
1.75?
It's 0.1. Yeah, 0.1. So anyway, not only I was gonna fail out anyway, but also I got busted because I threw an ice creamy sandwich at the principal or vice principal, and he hit him the back of the head. And then a Chinese kid told on me. I remember I got called to the principal office, and they had the snitch there.
What's his name?
He was like a fresh off the boat kind of Chinese kid. And he was like that, like they brought me in and they said, they like whispered to him, like, was it? And he was like, and then they were like, okay, you excused. And he left and he fingered me or whatever. Or not like that, but he told on you. He dropped a dimes on me. And then I got kicked out, okay? I got kicked out. And then, so I wasn't going to be able to went to high school without having to go again to 8th grade. For my mommy, probably because she didn't want to have me home for another fucking year or whatever. She sent me to my grandparents to fucking for a year or whatever. Anyway, this have nothing to do with anything. But I was one time, they had to drive. They lived in the fucking wilderness. The reason she sent me to there was because they live in the fuck like a rural area where you're chopping wood, you're doing all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I remember I was late. Coming down for school because you had to get up the crack of dawn, and they had to drive me kind of far to get to the school bus. And you know, those cold morning, it's like fucking 6 a.m. or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, you're still wet and cold outside. Anyway, for some reason, I was at the age where you're doing a lot of self-exploration or whatever. You're doing a lot of you're jerking yourself off, God, you okay? You're masturbating yourself. Maybe 14 years old. So I was checking a shower, and I couldn't help myself, even though it was in a hurry for them to drive. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's what I was thinking about. The woman in my fantasy was going, oh, God, shit like that. So I was in the shower doing a jerk off session by myself. Okay. Now, cut to, I was supposed to take a quick shower because, you know, if you miss the bus, then you have to catch up to the bus at the other stops, and you're driving country halt anyway. So I remember I was honey. They was like, "Hurry up, Hassan!" Yeah, I mean, you know, Henach, you gotta come.
Run, Forrest.
You gotta hunt first, hunt. Okay, come down there. And I'm hunting through Carayo. Then my grandfather go like this, Carayo, what the fuck you doing up there? What was you doing up there? Jerking your turkey? And then I went like this. What do you think was my response?
Yes.
No, it's the opposite. I went like this. No. Now, what looked more guilty? If I was to go like this, yeah, of course I was jerking my fucking turkey. Come on, let's go. Or no.
What would even make you say that?
No.
Why would you ever think that?
I looked as guilty as sin because I was guilty. But my dumb ass, I didn't understand it yet. I was just getting my sea legs as a man or whatever. So I went like this. Now. You know what I'm saying? So I was fucking, I mean, I was telling on myself, you know? So it's like these senators and governors and stuff like that. You know, that's what I always get off of these guys when they're talking about all that. You shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do an abortion and all that kind of stuff. Get the fuck out of here. All these guys is, you know what it basically, Karyn Bryant, you know what I think about this? Even people like Herschel Walker, he probably do believe that abortion, he probably do want abortion to be illegal. You know, he probably do want people not to have abortion, except in his case. Because you know what? It's like everybody loves the smell of their own fart. It's true. Your own
I don't know if love is the right word, but
everyone, childhood,
can tolerate, right?
Everyone is fine with the smell of their own fart. But suddenly, even a fart that might smell exactly like your own fart, caralho, that one is distaste. You know what I mean? You smell that, you go, oh, who farted, caralho? Who was there to fart? Because, look, if someone cut in a line that you in, you go like this, hey, what the fuck? This guy's cut in front, you know?
Right.
But then if you walk by and you see an old friend and they go, oh, come in here. Oh, caralho, nobody should mind that one. You know, everybody loves the smell of their own fart. But as soon as somebody else's fart, oh, caralho. You understand? So, and people want, you know, they want, you know, everybody should pay their taxes except for me, you know, all that kind of stuff. So these guys is full of fucking shit. They want you to obey the law, and you know, except for when it's you. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
I think like, it's just, I just think, you know, it's always like you were saying, it's just always interesting with people who are extreme in any way, shape, or form, who then get busted for doing the exact thing that they are extremely opposed to. Allegedly, like, is always crazy to me.
Only one is you, except for them. You know what I mean? It's like a people money preacher. You know what I mean? Like all these people who, you know, you preach, don't do this, don't cheat on your wife, don't have impure thought, don't do this, don't do that. Except me, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Don't do as I do as I say, not as I do. Fuck all that.
Not as I do. Exactly. Well, I'm looking to see if anybody has any, you know, dating questions or anything like that. I am trying to think if I had any questions, any relationship questions, but I don't think so.
Wait, somebody said there's an inside joke of the people that watched UFC press conference 2009. What that mean?
It's an inside joke because the people watch you. I don't know what they're talking about. Somebody is wondering. They're trying to have you leave my show, our show, and go on Bisbing's show. So some people are wondering why you aren't on Bisbing's show.
Wait, someone said why don't leave this show and go to
people are like, why don't you go back to Bisbing's show because he has more viewers and more this and more that, and why aren't you over on Bisbing's show instead?
Okay, but you know what they're doing, right? You know
No,
what
I don't.
this person knows that is probably one of the number one way to hire you up and to get you to talk about them. That's all they want. They
Oh,
don't
well,
even,
I wasn't. No, you had asked a question. I wasn't. I wasn't even like
I'm
looking.
just saying, that's why they're saying it, not because of any other reason. They want to see if they can affect you.
Yeah, no, you had asked me what they were saying about at the 99 press conference. I was just trying to look and see, but I'm just seeing like, yeah, some people are asking when you are going on the show or something.
That one. Well, I don't know. You know, I don't
know.
I don't do the bookings for the Bisping show. She didn't like that one. Anyway. But
yeah, I don't know.
You better speak now or forever hold your cheeks, because we I know we're not gonna talk about your boy Kanye West. I don't even want to get on.
Listen, I am never, the Kanye thing was just one of those things where you're just like, what are you doing, bro? Like obviously I know he does stuff for effect. And like, you know what I mean? He just does stuff to get a reaction. So I guess it's kind of more of the thing of like, I don't buy any of his stuff. Like, I don't know. I like some of his songs, but I don't own any of his records. I've never bought any of his clothing. I think a lot of the designs are really hideous. Like, I'm not a supporter. You know what I mean? I'm not his target audience. So the stuff that he does really doesn't make a difference in my life, because I was never somebody who was like, I can't believe he turned on us like that. Like, because I was never. But I know for people are mad, and he does do some stuff where I'm like, look, I do think he really does need mental health help. And I do think that there were some memes where they've equated where the Kanye and they have the Get Out, the Jordan Peele movie. And it's like, it does very much feel like that in a lot of ways.
It's that
a lot of it is sort of sad, but people don't all have to think the same thing. People are allowed to think different things.
Listen, even more than that, what he is, there's always been a guy like that in any group that you find of friends or whatever. The guy that have to be so punk hawk, where if everybody like a movie, he gotta hate it. If everybody like an album or a band, he fucking hate it, because he's so punk hawk. Like, oh, I can't believe you would say that. And it's funny because he just, what's the most punk hawk thing a black guy can say is that. Right. What's the biggest way to go, I'm so thinking for myself here, I'm going to say this or whatever. And the funny fucking thing is, I was having a conversation about this stupid fucking bullshit with somebody, a friend of mine in the chats, okay? And either I had forgot about, or maybe I never even knew this, but the guy was saying, like, what's left for this guy? What's next for him or whatever? And I go, listen, if his album sales is down, or his in heel desperate need of becoming relevant, his nuclear bomb, his nuclear weapon is going to be slavery never happened, or slavery wasn't that bad of a thing or whatever. Okay?
Right.
And I was just like, just wait and see. One day I can guarantee you.
Sure enough.
Okay, so then the fucking, when you see someone typing or whatever, then my friend sent me a link that I guess he already did it, because
that was a while ago.
A while back. And maybe I forgot about that or whatever, but it was like textbook. It's like, of course he would do that, because that is like, what's the most punk hawk, thing for her.
To be fair, I think he was trying to equate it with like mental slavery, but
listen, it's in poor taste. No matter.
It's gonna rub some people. It's gonna hub some people the wrong way.
I would love to see his black ass back then. It's like that old Eddie Murphy joke, where a lot of people was like, yeah, if I was back there, I'd be like, fuck you, massa, I ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, hype. You wouldn't say shit. You wouldn't be doing shit. You would be fetching masses, whatever the fuck he wants you to do. You understand? Fuck out of here, Kanye West.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I never was much of a fan. Like, I've known, it's funny because I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day because, like I grew up going to, private schools and this and that. Like some of my dearest friends are hardcore Republican, whatever, conservative, that, the other thing that is supposedly the enemy of people that are supposedly the enemy of people who look like me. And like, they're some of my dearest friends, you know what I mean? And so I don't like delete people from my life or anything for stuff like that. But I just think, like the Kanye stuff, like people go crazy for him. Like, and I do just think it's a little weird, that people will get mad about that kind of stuff, but then still go buy, like I said, this is like the ugly ass garbage clothing that he's putting out.
It's just silly. He just looked like, it reminded me of a little kid that is like, no, it's like, he's like, no, I won't do it.
I'm just going to be oppositional, just cut.
You know what he reminded me of? I might have brought this up before. I can't remember. I used to fucking read a children's book when I was a kid. And the thing was called, I don't remember the name of the book, but I think it was something called along the lines of Pierre, I don't care, or whatever. And the fucking kid's name was Pierre, and everything. Hey, you want to do this? I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. And it was just like a fucking pain in the ass, salty kid. Pierre, I'm Pierre. I don't care. And it was like, he's like that. It's like, hey, you like this? Isn't this great? Nah, that shit sucks. I already knew about that. Yeah, I already got it. Fuck you. And you know what? Suck my dick, Kanye. Fuck that guy. Fuck all that attitude problem. Suck my dick. Fuck you. Everybody says he's a genius. Fuck you. I'm even if he wasn't behaving like, fuck him anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I guess that's what it is and we're giving him time. We're giving him time on this show, but I just had to laugh when I saw that stuff because I get like literally that's my point is I can't believe some people legit still get like really wound up about stuff he does because it at this point you got to expect it, you got to see it coming, and like you said, it's you can map out, if they're losing interest, let me do something like this. If this is happening, let me whatever.
One day people still give a shit, but one day it's gonna be like Madonna. You know how like Madonna at a certain point, she says something and people all of a sudden it's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just silly shit. And people say he's a genius. Listen, this isn't Miles Davis we're dealing with. This is a fucking hack producer who made some good beats like that. Fuck out of here with genius. Genius. This isn't Hakim or MF Doom or someone like.
Well, I mean, when he was a producer, he did do some good producing before.
And there's a difference between someone who's a good fucking hack producer and a fucking genius.
And a genius, yeah. Prince is a genius.
Listen, yes. And there's very few people in the fucking hip hop community, and I'm a diehard fucking hip hop fan. There's very few people that I would throw around the word genius in that. Yeah. And he's not one of them for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, genius? Why?
Right.
Explain to me what's genius. Yeah. I'm not, and it's showing the fashion and it's showing his fucking attitude or whatever. I think, you know what I think he is? I think if he's a genius of self-promotion.
I was just going to say he's a genius at getting people to talk about it.
He's a pop culture genius. That's about it. Because no.
Hey, so listen, Renato, we don't have fights this weekend for the UFC, and I'm off for a couple weeks. I was telling people that the next one I'm working is that Calvin Kattar fight at the end of the month. I'm very much looking forward to that, which is going to be fun. And Calvin Kattar, a former guest on ours, as we already determined, episode 19 and stuff. But what do you got going on? Like, how much of you do you somebody before you came on the show, at the beginning of the show, people were asking about trying to get you down for a seminar in San Antonio or something. Have you?
Oh yeah,
is Renato going out on the road or anything like that?
You know what? That's good to remind me about that. I don't know. I didn't check and see if maybe they did comment on there. I didn't. I forgot about that. I gotta research that one. Who the fuck was that? Who's that?
It was very early on, like at the beginning of the show. If you go back and look at the comments, but somebody had said something about like, oh, we got to get that
Man,
seminar going with Hanach down in San Antonio.
I'll go into my the crypt, like the nether region of the message requests, like 5 years later. And
right.
I've missed out on some fucking serious stuff. I won't mention who, but a guy who produces movies and stuff, true, wanted me to do something, and fucking I discovered it like 2 years later.
Yeah, I missed out on something cool too, because I was like, oh, I never look at these.
That also happens to me in my goddamn fucking emails, because on a daily basis, if I was to look at a chunk of my emails, 99% of that one is buy one, get one free fucking bullshit. And then just wedged in there's maybe a thing that's like, hey, we got a big job for you. We want to pay you $10,000 to do that. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. It reminds me of having a check stuffed in with catalogs and junk mail or something.
Right.
But it's in between the pages. It's not its own thing.
Right. Yes, you don't need
the Lands End catalog.
Right.
Email. I miss emails like hotcakes. It's the saddest thing. Please.
That is sad.
Anyway,
anybody
want to donate because of some of the money that I missed out on those opportunities, you can.
Anyway, though, for people to know that, so we are available as audio downloads on Stitcher, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Amazon Music. Then you can find us visually over on YouTube. That's just YouTube.com/Karyn Bryant. On festivities.com. We're on Hanato's Twitch, and we are on my Twitter. And, I was saying it to folks at the beginning, Hanato, that, initially Festivities was going to kind of be this new branding thing. So long story short, I used to do stuff for under the MMA Heat umbrella, which is why on Instagram, my handle is KB Heat. It's not because I think I'm hot, and it's not because of anything else. It was because I used to do it's because it was MMA Heat, and then so it was KB from MMA Heat. And so then I thought about changing it, but then it's there's something weird. If you do that, if they change your handle, then all the things before that were linked to you or some weird thing. I don't know, whatever. So I'm probably not going to change my name. But yeah, I don't know. But the KB Heat, it's not because I think I'm hot. It's because it was from MMA Heat. Anyway, long story short, Festivities was just kind of going to be a new brand, but then we started doing this. And this quickly sort of just became the thing that Festivities was sort of more known for. So we were calling it Tuesday Night Fistivities, but I feel we'll just shorten it because it's just a mouthful to say out everything. So this will just be Festivities with KB and Renato Laranja. I think that works, right? So I changed this above us. If you notice, I've already changed it. Wow. And I changed I changed this. It used to say Tuesday Night Fistivities. So now it just says
bring your brand to elevate your brand, and so that you can now just change it to the name of the.
No, it's more that I got so busy doing this and the other things that I didn't get to build it out and do all the other interviews and stuff that I wanted to do because I'm a one-woman operation.
I mean, why not my name for it, whatever you want, and to elevate the brand.
I mean, it doesn't have to have your name there. I could, if that's what you're saying.
No, I don't hate it. Let's not be too hasty, but would it kill you to just be Festivities with Renato Laranja? Because
it actually probably would kill me to do. But as it is, Renato, as it is, do you know how insulting it is when I look at the comments? Although I know Chito said I shouldn't read the comments because I'm doing all the work for this thing, and then all these people are like, Renato is awesome, Renato's great. Wow, the Renato show should come back, and I'll be like, there's a bitch sitting there too that I think I add a little something to the show. I think I add a little too. I think the guest showed up because I called him, but I guess it's the Renato show.
Look at the bright side. Everybody's excited about your Uncle Renato. I mean, caray, what could be better?
It's the problem is that I'm like a kingmaker for other people, and all the people that I ever work with go on to do great things, and your old KB is left behind.
But you're like Joan of Arc. She was the same way. And even though she was burned to the stakes, She still, her name live on to this day, Karyn.
Meanwhile, for a perfect example of this is our boy light-skinned Hart used to be on with us, and then Michael poached him.
Yeah, but I didn't have nothing to do with that, Karyn.
I know.
You know, and I'm stay here, and to let you
until a better offer comes along. It's okay. You can say it. It's fine.
Listen, if the money is high, I gotta cut out.
Meaning there is money.
Listen,
at all.
I got to do was hide for Renato Laranja. I gotta do a hide for number one.
I know. So do I. I'm trying.
Listen, a lot of people is trying to took me away. Zuckerberg, a lot of people is want me to fly the coop. My Cuban, they're offering me all kind of money, but I'm stay here. You even heard the cat. Even when my cats is go hungry, you heard that? He went. You hear that?
Is the pussy's calling you?
Yeah, but it's the male one, Karyn.
Oh.
It does. He sounds like someone's murdering him. He sounds like he's depressed in there. He's going.
Hasn't eaten forever.
And then I go in there, and he's got like one of my underwears or a sock that he stole from my fucking home, and he have it in his fucking mouth, and he sit there going, wow! Like sometime in the middle of the fucking night, I get up, I go, fucking Karyn, and I go like this. Is this what you're doing? And I throw it in there, and I go, knock it off, boy. I don't know why he does it. He steals my garbage, and then he go.
Sounds like Chewbacca.
Yeah, Chewbacca. Chewbacca is better because he at least he drives some Chinese, or he
plays chess.
He get you back in a fight. This fucking guy, I just feed this one. I try to pat that one, and he goes like this, and he hit me, and then steal my garbage and go.
I'm sorry. Some of those videos crack me up though when people show where their cats, like you just said, the pat, like cats. Some of them are pretty violent.
Tell you what, this fucking guy, I also lure you in. He go like this, like that, and then I go, maybe you're not so bad, Karyn. Let me give you some, and then you hug him, and then he go, and then fucking get, and I go, you know what? Fuck you then. But he's lived here so long, I can't throw that one out.
I was just gonna say, why do you have him?
I have a love-hate. The females I like. My female animals is all cool, but I think also he thinks I'm competition or whatever. He's a piece of shit.
Okay. What's his name?
Bogart. After Humphrey Bogart.
Okay.
Yeah, he's act like Humphrey Bogart. Not like the cool one, the detective. He act like Humphrey Bogart from Treasure of the Sierra Madre. The greedy Humphrey Bogart. A piece of shit Humphrey Bogart.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Paradigm for a fellow American. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, I'm not too pleased with this guy, but at least he shut up for.
All right. Well, listen, Renato, as I mentioned, we can be downloaded at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. And you can find us visually on festivities.com and YouTube.com/Karyn Bryant. It's Karyn. Bryant as in Kobe, no relation, but may he rest in peace. And for you, it's Renato
Laranja. Renato Laranja, like Fernando Lamas, or I don't know. There's no other famous Laranja. There's only me. So no relation to anybody else but your Uncle Renato _Laranja. May Vinny Magalhães rest in peace. No relation.
Nice.
May he hell. May he burn in hell. No relation, but may he burn in hell.
May he burn in hell. And big thanks to Chito Vera, who was our guest. He was awesome. If you missed any of it, go back and check it out. Cheeto was awesome. Last week's guest was Alir Latifi, so you should definitely check that one out as Latif, because he just retired, and and he's fighting off a staph infection. So send him some positive vibes and check out the show. But yeah, this is
maybe we gotta get Guido Sarducci or whatever on next. What was the fucking guy's name?
Guido Canetti.
Yeah, Guido Canetti. I love that name. That name is
Me and Kenny at work, Kenny Floyd and I would be like, "Oh, how you doing, Guido Canari? How you doing? He's a good guy, Guido Canari." Like
it's so cinematic.
it's so good. No, it's so good.
Who did you for?
Marlon, my
and you know what? It sounds like he's not the good guy in the thing. He's like either a bad guy or he's like a guy who owes the bookie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think it's the Eddie part, like by saying Guido Canetti, like it's the Eddie part that makes it sound bad.
Yeah, like it remind me of like you remember the part in Casino where you know how he's putting that guy's head in a vice, and getting him to, and he goes, "Don't make me fucking be a bad guy over here," and he goes, "Fucking give me a name," and then he goes, "Charlie M," and he goes, "Fucking Charlie M, Charlie, you make me pop your fucking eyeball."
Oh, I hate
that piece of shit. It reminds me of like Guido Canetti. Fucking Guido Canetti.
Why did you have to remind me of that scene? Oh,
I love that scene. He goes, "Frankie, do me a fucking favor," or whatever. He cuts his fucking.
Meanwhile, I watched Dexter before bed, but that's different. I'm like, I went back and started watching the old ones again. It's
I'm surprised you didn't start. I haven't fucked with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet either. I don't know.
Not interested in that. I'm interested in that one.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
I'm always a little intrigued with that story.
Maybe we'll see.
He's a strange bird. Because I've watched documentaries about him before. Yeah. What's intriguing about him to me, that kind of was something, because you know both of you and I did a little actings and stuff like that. The thing that's interesting to me, and it was like a key into like how characters are and stuff like that. When he described his relationship to his victims and stuff like that, when he was shocked, in his mind, he wasn't doing something bad. He was trying to like make them to never leave him, to be part of him. You know, it was like in his mind, this twisted fucking way of rationalizing this shit is he wasn't thinking, I'm going to do something dastardly. I'm going to eat people like a villain. He was coming from like a sentimental place with it, you know? So it just remind you, like they even say Adolf Hitler, in his mind, he's doing something. He thinks he's doing the right thing. So it was further evidence that people always thinking they're doing something like in the twisted fucking way. They the star of their own movie and never are they doing something dastardly. It's like, no, this makes sense. I'm doing this because, and it was just a trip to me that it was like, he wanted them to be forever like part of him. Like, don't you go away from me, be us together. And it's fucking crazy. It's bonkers, and it's evil, but not to him, which is fascinating to me. So it's like the psychology to me is the fascinating part, you know? Yeah,
maybe I'll check it out. And when I was younger, I used to read serial killer books, and I'm looking at my library, some of my bookshelf, and I remember that, and I was into that kind of stuff. And I think, I don't know, some of the stuff changed maybe when I became a mom or something. Meanwhile, like I said, I can watch Dexter because it's not real, you know what I mean? But so I might be interested in the Dahmer stuff, but as a mom now too, it might hit different. I don't know.
But he wasn't going after girls, so you can be happy.
Right. But I guess, you know what, honestly, now it gets to the point where you hear this and, various things happen, right? Like when, for example, when kids go wrong, when some of my daughter's friends or whatever, they have, siblings or whatever, where they got hooked on drugs, and the parents tried the tough love and had to kick them out and this and that, I always say to my daughter, like, hey, that would just break my heart. And I can't imagine kicking you out. I would be the one who would give you like a million chances and, and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm saying. As a parent, still to think, and I don't know what Dahmer's parents were like, but like, no matter what you did, if your kid was just born a bad seed or whatever, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel for the parents in that situation. Cause like, what,
oh, you got to think like, where did I went? Where did
I go wrong? How can you, there's no way you wouldn't blame yourself.
Apparently you know what? Now I'm confused. I don't remember if he had bad parents or not, but I think he
I don't know.
I think he just on shit. But you know what? That remind me of
or you might be confusing Ted Bundy, because Ted Bundy was like,
I can't remember, but it's funny to me because You remember that movie, that indie comedy back in the day called Flirting with Disaster? You ever seen that? And him, Lily Chamberlain, and the other one, they were like, "We're your parents. Even if you was Jeffrey Dahmer, we would love you."
Yeah.
So it's true. I mean, you would probably be in such denial.
Right.
You would probably want to protect. It'd be like, look, if he wasn't feeling under the weather, he wouldn't have did that.
Yeah. I would make a million excuses for bad things that my kid did. I could tell you, like right now. Like,
what if your Uncle Henach did something terrible like that? You probably have my back. You'd be like, oh God, he was so
depends.
likable.
Did you send her a get well soon card?
To me, that's one of the best. He's comedic gold. I mean, this fucking guy, God,
Get well soon. I wasn't sick, Herschel.
He's not a good look. He's setting black folks back far.
He's so bad.
He's a stereotypy.
I know.
Almost from like not even our lifetime. He's like a stereotype from like the time of Amos and Andy or something like that.
It's bad.
He's like a black guy from like a Marx Brothers movie or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you know, like the kind of guy who sees a ghost or whatever. Like, you know, that he's like by himself and he's on.
Yes.
No, like there was one.
The Three Stooges, and they're with like Meet Frankenstein or something.
No, that's you're thinking of not Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello or whatever.
Okay.
But in the Marx Brothers and stuff, they had black guys like that who would get scared by his own echo or whatever. He'd be like, "Who that?" And then it'd be like, "Who?" And it'd be like, "Who that? Who said who?" Or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like and then his eyes go, "Good God!" I mean, he's like that kind of. He's a throwback to those fucking days. Every time I hear this guy speak, I go like this.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. All right. At any rate, folks.
This way, it's bad for an athlete. Like, even if he was just playing football, other athletes would be like, it's a goddamn shame for him. Oh, you froze. Is that me or you?
Totally.
Yeah, you know what
all
I'm
right.
saying? So, like, you know, oh God. Oh,
yeah. No, it's bad. But we do want to thank you guys for joining us. It's fun. This was episode 54. So you can go back and look. And the good thing is, Renato, I am seeing some people with, in the comments, like, who maybe just found the show and then they're like, oh, cool. I didn't know, there's all these other episodes. I'm going back and looking at some from 5 months ago or whatever. I mean, that's the whole thing, is we have just an A+ guest list. And even though, some of the times we're talking to fighters kind of plus or minus around the time that they were fighting, but not always, right? So a lot of these are just evergreen things. Like we were saying with Carlos Condit, he's already been retired. So it's not like, oh, I can't go watch that Carlos Condit episode because, they're talking about his fight. Like, no, it's just pure gold. You know what I mean? So what?
We hired him. Isn't it because of us that he was hired?
No.
See, we can be influential in MMA.
No.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate,
I hope this was a good episode, and I hope that the people enjoyed that one.
I think so.
I would have if I was just watching that. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah,
your chop was I mean, I know I look enticing here, but your chop was, there was something for everyone here. On this side, you look. That color is becoming, and also that
I like red. Thank you.
That also make you, everything look make it look hype and
okay.
It looking nice.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm gonna
and apple picking and stuff like that, and fresh malt cider and wine.
We're going to say goodbye, folks. We'll see you next Tuesday. I'm not exactly sure who our guest will be, but it's going to be good.
You never know, Karyn.
You never know. But thanks so much for joining us. I'll show you where you can find us, and we'll see you next time, folks.
Ciao.